6-5 Media presents A Studio Demands It script reading of The Amazing Spider-Man 3, written by T.C. DeWitt and James Burzelic, starring Craig Lee Thomas as Peter Parker / Spider-Man, T.C. DeWitt as Eddie Brock / Venom, Travis Dixon as Alistair Smythe, Andy Loud as Sergei Kravinoff, Hope Rubenkowski as Black Cat, with Dwight Taylor as Max Dillon, and Melody Peng as Aunt May, with narration by Jim Burzelic. Additional performances by Courtney Locks, Gabriel Sedgemore, and Dani Scott. Fade in. Interior Oscorp Labs, The Spider Room, day. A spider slowly descends from darkness into a dimly lit laboratory covered in spiderwebs. In those webs, dozens of crawling, silent spiders. A boy of 16 curiously moves through the grid, Peter Parker. He touches the walls. For a moment, silence. The webs tighten and countless spiders begin to rain down. He brushes the spiders away in a panic.
10 years ago, I was bit by a genetically modified spider that gave me superpowers.
Peter's neck as a spider bites him.
Ow!
Flashes of moments from Amazing Spider-Man. Peter on the subway fighting muggers, skateboarding, shattering a basketball backboard, storming out of his room away from Uncle Ben, shattering the glass of the back door. A store. Peter stands aside, letting a robber get away. The robber collides with Ben. A struggle. A shot goes off. Peter is holding his dying uncle.
My selfishness got Uncle Ben killed. All he ever tried to tell me was that with power comes responsibility. I wasn't listening, but after that night...
Flashes of moments. Peter, now in his costume, fighting crooks, on the bridge, saving a kid. The cops, including Captain Stacy, firing guns at the masked man.
I became Spider-Man.
On top of the Oscorp building, Spider-Man fighting Lizard. Explosions! Sparks!
I fought a lizard man who wanted to turn the whole city into lizards. And he killed my girlfriend's dad.
Captain Stacy dies in Peter's arms. Flashes of moments from Amazing Spider-Man 2. Peter fighting Electro.
I fought an electricity guy, but he wasn't all bad.
Harry Osborn as the Goblin attacks Spider-Man and Gwen.
And then I fought a guy who said he was my best friend, but he was really just some dude guy I knew when I was a kid. He's in jail now.
Spider-Man and Goblin fight. Gwen runs for her life. An explosion. Goblin knocked unconscious. Gwen falling. Spider-Man reaching for her. Peter holds Gwen's body. He cries.
And Gwen paid the price.
Spider-Man at Gwen's grave, turning and leaping into the air, landing to fight the Rhino.
Then I fought a guy in a mechanized rhino suit. He's in jail now too.
Moments. Spider-Man swinging through the city, fighting crime and fleeing from the cops.
I tried really hard to keep fighting because that's what Gwen would have wanted.
Exterior streets, night. Spider-Man lands in the middle of a gun-smuggling operation. He thwips, kicks, and punches the gang into submission.
I threw myself into Spider-Man.
Moments. Spidey cleaning up the streets.
But for every 20 Goombas I managed to put in webs, it seemed bigger baddies would just pop up.
Wham! Spider-Man punches Tombstone in the face. Pow! Spider-Man jump kicks Prowler in the chest. Crash! Spider-Man lands on Big Wheel. Crack! Spider-Man webs Hammerhead to a wall.
They kept coming, and I kept fighting. I started hitting harder and harder. Nothing felt like it was enough. Failing Gwen haunted me. I guess it was inevitable that sooner or later I'd break.
Exterior bank day. Shocker, a bank robber with fiery mechanical fists, sends bolts of power at the cops and civilians. Spider-Man lands and shakes his head.
Electrical powers? That's gotta be some copyright infringement, pal.
Zap! Shocker sends a bolt, but Spidey deftly dodges. A scream! Peter whips around. A woman with blonde hair is on the ground. Shocker's blast has struck her dead. Spider-Man turns, shaking with fury. In a flash, he unleashes on Shocker. He doesn't hold back. Two officers, Lamont and Gonzalez, have to literally pull Spider-Man away from the villain.
Hey, whoa, Spider-Man!
Whoa!
He violently throws them off. The cops point their guns at our webhead. He looks at Shocker's pummeled face as the man coughs blood. Peter looks at his bloody fists.
I lost my way.
He leaps and swings away as the cops open fire. Exterior, an alley, night. Peter lands and pulls off his mask. He's exhausted. On a billboard above him, a video of J. Jonah Jameson of the Daily Bugle shouts fear-mongering rhetoric.
The rise of vigilantes! Spider-Man is to blame!
Peter balls up his fists and punches a dumpster, sending it tumbling away like a soda can. A sound, a fearful squeak. Peter looks up at two kids watching from their window.
I was at the end of myself.
Peter hurries away. He rounds a corner and skids to a stop. Before him, a purple light begins to ripple. He looks at his hands and body as he vanishes from existence. Flashes of moments from No Way Home. Peter in an alley, a circular portal opening, meeting MJ and Ned Leeds. Older Maguire Peter exchanging webs in the middle of the kitchen. Peter and his other crawl out of the night to speak to the Tom Holland Peter.
And then I was pulled away, literally pulled into another universe, and I found myself. I found others who understood what I'd been through.
My Uncle Ben was killed.
I lost Gwen. And I realized I needed to change. I needed to get back to being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Peter puts his arms around Peter 1 and Peter 2.
I love you guys.
The three Peters take on Electro, Sandman, Lizard, and Goblin, saving MJ, throwing the Goblin cure to Peter 1, the sky turning purple, the Holland Peter hugging them, standing side by side with Maguire Peter, fading away. Exterior and alley day. Spider-Man reappears in the alley he vanished from.
10 years since that radioactive spider gave me these gifts, and I'm still figuring out who I am.
Spidey swings out over the city with new energy and fervor.
Woohoo! And so I'm back. I'm here, and I'm making changes. I'm doing the best I can to make up for the wrong choices I made in the past.
Exterior streets day. Sitsevich, in a sleeker rhino mech, holding a literal sack of ATMs, is firing at Lamont and Gonzalez.
New and improved! Yeah!
Webbing hits the rhino in the face.
New and improved, but still trying to make that laugh work, huh?
You!
Me?
No!
Yep.
Spider-Man flips over and around Rhino's bullets, webs Lamont and Gonzalez out of the way, and rips Rhino's helmet off, revealing his big, dumb head and horrible haircut.
Oh, Alexi, did they not have a barber in prison? Yikes.
Yeah!
Oh, baby's cranky.
He webs Rhino's mouth.
Oh, yoink.
Spidey yanks Sitsevich from the suit like a toddler out of his baby bouncer, dropping him for Lamont and Gonzalez.
Officers?
Freeze!
Spider-Man raises his hand.
Look, fellas, I know it. Oh my God, what is that?
He points past them. They whip around to look at nothing at all. Spider-Man swings away in a flash.
Ah, classic.
Interior, the Parker home, day. Peter is staring with earnestness directly into camera.
And so, yeah, that's why I'm sitting here now telling you all of this. I'm Spider-Man. And that's why I need to move out.
Reveal Aunt May, seated opposite him with her mouth hanging open in stunned silence.
What the
Title credits, The Amazing Spider-Man 3. Fade in. Exterior, New York City, sunset. Spider-Man swings spectacularly over the skyscrapers of the Big Apple. Words appear over his acrobatic image. Reward for capture. If you see Spider-Man, call 844-362-7835. The image falls in and out of focus for a moment. Pulling back, the footage is revealed to be on a billboard hanging over the Times Square Port Authority bus terminal. The view shifts in and out of focus again and swings over the steady stream of people, passing other billboards, a hot dog cart, a stray dog sniffing at a muddy puddle, pedestrians. The view is through a telescopic scope, a rifle sight. In the throngs of the people walking from the subway stairs, a figure stands out. Eddie Brock, a tight gray shirt under a black leather coat, slicked back hair, and muttering to himself as he eats a bar of chocolate. The scope's focus goes in and out for a moment as it remains trained on Eddie. Street level, Eddie walks against the flow of foot traffic. The sounds of the city bombard him. He winces. It's giving him a headache, or rather...
This place is too noisy, Eddie. I don't like it.
Just relax, buddy.
I am relaxed.
Venom lurches within Eddie and causes him to flinch hard. He topples into an angry man who shoves him out of the way.
Watch it, you friggin' tourist!
Can I eat that guy?
No.
You just say no to me?
No, that's not what... I wasn't talking to you.
Let me eat him.
Sorry.
Eddie hurries away from the perturbed local.
Listen, you aren't eating anyone. We've talked about this. We're here for an...
I need to find Spider-Man.
We're here for an interview at the Bugle, and then we find Spider-Man.
Found him.
Eddie's entire body jerks as Venom forces him toward a video display of Spider-Man swinging over the city, like the billboard.
Reward.
If you or someone you love has encountered a criminal or powered individual, do your part to protect New York from the growing threat of vigilantes. Call our tip line and you could receive cash for any information leading to arrest.
I guess the anti-vigilante movement is a little bigger here.
a passing local woman.
That's because assholes like Spider-Man. He's gonna bring bullshit like more killer bats or that some San Francisco slime monster last year.
Eddie shifts awkwardly at the mention of his own exploits. A younger New Yorker walking by.
You don't know what you're talking about. Spidey's a hero. He's protecting us.
Says you?
Mm-hmm.
Those is the real heroes.
The woman gestures and walks off. Eddie is left staring at the screen as robot sentries soar heroically by, shimmering in the sunlight as smiling faces in the video cheer for them.
Smythe Tech Sentries are here to serve and protect the fine people of New York.
The sentries land and salute under an American flag. The ad ends, and a Daily Bugle logo appears. Eddie shakes his head clear and begins walking again.
Come on, we got an interview.
Eddie's entire body jerks the other direction.
Your stupid interview can wait. We have to find Spider-Man before someone calls that number.
Eddie struggles to force himself back the way he wants to go.
That bounty thing has been going for years. No one's catching the guy. We're not here for Spider-Man. I'm here for a job.
I'm here for Spider-Man.
Venom yanks Eddie around, causing him to nearly step in front of a bus. But Eddie swings back around and grabs the side of a parking sign. No one really pays much mind.
Yes, okay, yeah, I know. There's something about...
I'm drawn to him.
Yes, I know.
And I now must find him.
Just let me get a job first, unless you want to starve.
Venom relents, and Eddie is able to let go of the sign and stand up straight.
I wouldn't starve if you let me
Eat people, yeah.
Eddie shoves a piece of chocolate in his mouth. They begin walking again. He glances up at the skyscrapers. The setting sun dazzles off the glass and chrome. We see an Oscorp building, although its signage is being removed by crane. As they pass an alleyway...
Psst. Hey.
A rough-looking mugger stands just inside the darkened alleyway, a pistol leveled at Eddie.
Get in here.
A criminal? This is perfect.
You're kidding, right?
Welcome to New York.
The mugger grabs Eddie and yanks him into the alley. Eddie's forced up against the wall.
You're making a huge mistake.
Am I? Give me your wallet and phone.
Do what he says. Spider-Man will be here any moment to save us.
I don't think it works that fast.
Oh, yeah?
But this is a criminal doing a crime.
There's worse criminals.
You think this is a joke, asshole?
The mugger keeps the gun on Eddie and digs into his pockets. Eddie sighs and rolls his eyes.
A little help here.
A black, slimy hand reaches out from Eddie's chest and grabs the mugger's wrist. In a slithering, gooey moment, Venom wraps himself around Eddie, causing him to grow 2 feet taller. He lifts the mugger off his feet and shakes him like a doll.
Where are the worst criminals?
Venom drops the shrieking mugger, who runs for his life, tripping over the trash and stumbling out of the alleyway.
Now we shall follow him.
Why?
He could lead us to his lair.
I don't think that's the kind of guy who has a lair.
But where else can we find Spider-Man? We find more criminals.
Fine, but only for a few hours.
Good.
Venom leaps back into Eddie and disappears within his chest. Angle. Eddie hurries after the mugger, seen from the telescopic scope. As Eddie turns a corner and leaves the scope's sight, the view tilts up and over the buildings. The lights of the city begin to pop on as the sun fully sets. Interior Oscorp building, night. A room-length glass window with a large pane removed from it. Dozens of stories above the street, the very last shreds of daylight fade. A shadow crosses camera. The room is some sort of lab full of electronics and machines, most of them gutted and in various states of dismantle. This place has been shut down a long time ago. A dusty Oscorp sign hangs pathetically in the space. Shunk! A large wall panel opens. The shadow moves into a hidden room and begins rifling through the shelves of devices in pristine condition. The shadow gathers prizes in the center of the room, handheld tech, tablets and gadgets with triggers and detonators. The figure steps into the light, and we see a beautiful face, a domino mask over her eyes and white hair. This is Felicia Hardy, aka Black Cat, Thief. She holds up a baseball-sized onyx black device and grins victoriously. This is the grand prize of the night.
All of that looks very expensive.
Black Cat freezes, her back to the hero, who is perched on the windowsill. She offers the slightest of glances over her shoulder. There's a hint of fear in her eyes.
Don't you have somewhere better to be?
Spidey checks his wrist as though looking at a watch.
It is almost time for Colbert, but who am I kidding? I'll just watch it online tomorrow like a normal person.
Funny.
Black Cat holds up a detonator. Spider-Man's eyes widen.
Uh-oh.
Cat clicks the button. Boom! A domino of explosives go off just under Spider-Man, shattering the window and sending him leaping away. He rolls across the floor and hops up to stick to the wall. At the same moment, Black Cat grabs 3 bags of loot and runs for it. She dives straight out of the shattered windows and soars out into the night. Exterior rooftop. She lands and rolls to a run, like an Olympic gymnast. She sprints across the roof and leaps to the next. As she lands, Spider-Man does so as well, directly in front of her. Without missing a beat, Black Cat swings one of the loot bags at the hero, but he ducks. She runs right past him, but he webs her in the back, stopping her escape. She spins on the spot, using the claws on her gloves to slice the webbing. She holds up another explosive and readies it.
Stay away from me, webhead!
Spider-Man holds up his hands.
No, wait, it's not like that anymore.
With guys like you, it's always like that. You put Wheel in the hospital last month with both legs broken.
That guy rides a giant wheel as his gimmick and calls himself Big Wheel. He deserves prison time just for that.
And you put Screwball, Lyman, and Hibbs in comas.
She's genuinely scared of the hero.
Cat, I'm serious. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man again. I promise.
That's a weird promise, seeing as you're sneaking up on me in the dark and chasing me across the city.
Well, you were robbing the place, and I'm still a superhero.
Black Cat looks at the guy. There's a familiarity here. Not a friendship, but a history. She senses a lightness in him that she hasn't seen in a long time.
I'm not stealing from anyone. Didn't you hear? Oscorp is officially defunct as of yesterday. It's a victimless crime.
And yet still theft, somehow.
She holds up the Onyx Black device in one hand.
It's abandoned tech. Nobody wants an old prototype velocity generator or a barely tested sonic shield.
Then why do you want it?
She stares a beat. Crack! Cat quick draws a handheld weapon from one of her satchels, firing a laser beam right at Spidey. He dodges it by jumping over the beam, landing beside Cat, disarming her. She throws an elbow at his face, which he also dodges, and then a spin kick, which he hops over.
You let me go last time!
She cartwheels around him using one of her bags to loop around an electrical wire and zip line to the next building.
I didn't let you go! I had to put out the fire that you started!
She lands and rolls, jumps, and kicks off the wall just as Spider-Man lands.
Huh! Good to know!
She pulls out one of her tech pieces and brandishes it.
What do you think this one does? Let's find out!
She sprays a line of flames across the roof, igniting it.
Woo!
The webhead begins stamping out the fire as Cat runs again. Rooftop. Black Cat runs across the roofs like Trinity from The Matrix. She secures her loot bags. Spider-Man appears, swinging alongside her.
Where do you sell all that stuff anyway?
Black Market in Queens! You should go check it out. Plenty of criminals there for you to harass.
Like I'm gonna believe there's an actual physical black market, like it's an evil farmer's market. I am not harassing you.
Yes, you are! No means no, webhead!
She pulls out what looks like a pumpkin bomb and throws it. It goes off midair in a flash of white light, sending Spidey crashing into the air duct. The blast also causes Cat to stumble, and she lands wonky, tripping and rolling across a rooftop patio, crashing into deck chairs and a grill. She wobbles to her feet, breathing very heavily.
Oh, shit!
She realizes her bags have fallen off. She looks around frantically until...
Go ahead. You can catch your breath.
Spider-Man is standing casually against the edge of the building, holding the bags. Cat steadies her breathing and stands straight up.
I'm not catching my breath. I'm giving up.
Nope, I'm not falling for that.
Slowly, practically sashaying over to him, she provocatively approaches.
I'm serious. You win, hero boy.
She is close enough now to walk her fingers up his chest. He holds her loot away and out of her reach at arm's length.
You're making me uncomfortable here, Cat.
Oh, what's the matter? Don't you want to cuff me?
Cuffing isn't really what I do.
She leans close to his masked face, her lips shimmering.
Oh, right. You'd rather tie me up.
I call it webbing.
She's so close, she could kiss him.
How many times are we going to do this little song and dance?
Your eyes are very blue.
Thanks.
Wham! She shoves off his chest and flips back from him. He extends his arm to web her, and nothing happens. Cat lands from her flip and turns his web shooter around in her hands.
Did you make these yourself?
Hey, give me that back!
He webs his shooter back with his other hand. He looks down at the shooter. There's a small banger on it.
Of course.
Pow! Spider-Man flies backwards, the bags of loot flung from his hands. Cat catches the bags and winks.
Thanks!
And she jumps from the roof. Spider-Man recovers in an instant, webs the wall, and swings around the building to collide with her midair, and they begin to fall.
Stop squirming! You're gonna mess up my landing!
You're gonna break our necks!
Struggling in each other's arms, they crash directly through the roof of the building below. Interior chop shop. A warehouse full of stolen cars and parts. Spider-Man and Black Cat land in a heap. Spidey taking the brunt of it by placing himself underneath Cat to cushion the fall.
You're welcome.
Spider-Man shakes his head and sits up. He looks around and pauses in surprise.
What the?
They've landed in the middle of some sort of attack. Several men, car thieves, are laid out, groaning or unconscious. Others are holding guns and knives, and standing with 5 guns pointed at him and holding his mugger is Venom.
I was right. Spider-Man showed up.
Are you about to eat that guy?
Yes. No. Maybe.
Spider-Man gets to his feet, pointing at the hulking alien.
I'm gonna have to ask you to put him down.
Venom looks at the mugger, who looks at all of his friends.
Kill them both?
Gunfire! Spider-Man dodges while Venom takes it.
Cat, get behind me! Cat?
Spidey turns a full circle. Cat has completely vanished. Venom grabs one of the gunmen and throws him right at another. He swings his massive arms and sends a car frame at 2 more. He turns and chases others. A goon runs at Spider-Man with a fire axe. He swings, and misses.
You see where the lady I came here with went? White hair, this tall? No, ow!
A distant roar. Spider-Man catches the fire axe without even looking. His eyes up to the roof. He flings the goon away and webs to the hood of one of the stolen cars.
I know that sound. That's my cue. Hey, black goo guy! Don't eat anyone!
Spidey kicks off the ground and webs his way out of the building in one swift move. Venom takes the mugger and sticks him headfirst into a barrel, picks the barrel up and chucks it at another goon.
Wait! Spider-Man, come back!
The distant roar grows louder.
Hey, buddy, that doesn't sound good.
How could he just leave us?
Before Venom can chase after the hero, boom! 3 metal giants land in the center of the chop shop. The Smythe Sentries.
Cease and desist. You are under citizen's arrest, as so authorized by the deputization of Smythe by the city of New York.
What the hell are these things?
Every conscious car thief in the warehouse runs for it. The sentries systematically begin capturing the men. Nets, restraints, tasers.
They are the enemy.
Venom launches an attack on the nearest sentry. The robot extends an arm and sends a sonic blast so hard into the alien that the symbiote is literally knocked off of Eddie. As Eddie falls to the ground unconscious, the symbiote reaches out and grabs his host, yanking himself back into the body. But just as he enters Eddie's form, wham! Another sentry drops a containment unit over him and capturing Venom and activating a sonic device. Venom lurches and then falls still. Eddie lay unmoving with the other criminals. Exterior rooftop. Angle. Seen from the telescopic lens, the sentries begin collecting their prey. The scope lifts. Standing on a ledge, having watched the entire scene, is a man holding a massive hunting rifle. He has a thick handlebar mustache and a just as thick Russian accent. This is Sergei Kravinoff, aka Kraven the Hunter.
Got you.
He grins, triumphant, and shoulders his rifle before turning and strolling into the shadows. Exterior, another roof. On another rooftop, Black Cat watches as the sentries soar away. She exhales in relief and sets her loot bags down. She reaches behind her back to pull out the onyx black device, which she managed to keep in the fall. She fishes through her bags for a moment. Her face drops. She searches with urgency. They're all full of rocks and bricks, one of which has paper that she removes to squint at. It is a handwritten note.
Stop stealing! Signed, Spider-Man.
Cat smirks, amused and annoyed at the same time.
Damn you, hero boy.
Smythe Tech, night. A high-rise in the center of a collective of smaller buildings on an island in the Upper Bay. The Manhattan skyline glows on the nearby shore. The sentries soar from the city toward the industrial complex island. The 3 sentries rocket through a massive bay door and land in a hangar showroom, holding their quarry, the 10 or so men and Eddie, still unconscious. A collection of uniformed guards, led by Flint, are waiting to collect the prisoners. Also waiting for their arrival is a small gathering of men and women in fancy attire. A party of wealthy people who applaud as the sentries come to arrest. Plumes of exhaust simmering from their propulsion systems. Stepping out of the gathering, a man in a very impressive tuxedo claps while displaying a perfect set of teeth and a broad smile. This man oozes privilege. Alistair Smythe.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you our city's saviors, the Sentries.
More applause. A photographer and a reporter, Ben Urich, whose name badge reads Front Line, stands off to the side documenting the event. Smythe waves him over.
Don't be shy. Exclusives like this don't come every day, Mr. Urich.
Urich nods to his photographer, and the shutterbug goes to work.
Be sure to get the investors. They're the real heroes.
Smythe walks to the center robot and taps a small personal tablet. The sentry bends a knee, and Smythe takes what almost looks like a crown from the bot. the Alpha Crown.
These newer models are just the first of many in our advanced protection network.
Smythe flicks his tablet and the sentries turn abruptly, displaying the men they've captured. Eddie stirs.
We were able to determine that these men have been responsible for a string of car thefts over the past 3 months. Our security team was able to find them. Now they'll be processed in our internal system and then sent to Rikers.
Applause. Smythe poses for photos in front of the sentries and their captives. Eddie wakes.
What the hell? What the hell? Hey!
A sonic shield begins to vibrate over Eddie's entire body, causing him to wince in pain.
Oh, one of our car thieves has awoken.
Car thief! Hey, you got the wrong guy. I didn't do anything.
The other prisoners wake as well.
Yeah, me either. I'm innocent. Let me out of here.
Hey, yeah, I didn't do nothing. It's against my rights.
What? You tried to mug me. Don't listen to this guy.
I love when they bang.
The gathered investors laugh. The sonic continues on Eddie.
I'm telling you, I'm not part of this gang. I'm a reporter.
Me too. I'm a reporter.
Yeah, so am I.
And report it to the judge. Oh, friends of yours, Mr. Ulrich?
More laughter. Smythe nods to the guards to start escorting the sentries and prisoners to a giant elevator. As they enter, Eddie shouts through the sonic, still vibrating him.
Hey, you reporter. What paper are you from? Are you from the Bugle? I'm supposed to be talking to your boss. Call Jameson.
Oh yeah, my boss.
The elevator clangs shut.
Funny he should mention Jonah. He's one of our biggest supporters, but we love all our investors, don't we?
Smythe laughs and shakes hands with his guests.
We will deliver those and other detainees to the NYPD on Monday.
With evidence?
Surveillance footage from our investigation will provide an orgy of evidence, which we always hand over to the NYPD.
Mr. Smythe, I couldn't help but notice Spider-Man isn't among your captured again.
Well, thank you for that keen observation, Mr. Rich. As you know, Spider-Man is a work in progress. These men and their ilk are just as much of a threat to our city, and every one of them captured is one less criminal out there.
A work in progress, sure, but a 5-year one? This has been all probationary, what, with the explosion of super-powered individuals? And while there's been a decline in the type of criminals your sentries are capturing, there's been an increase in super-powered activity. You convinced more than half the city that Spider-Man is responsible for that, and you still haven't caught him.
But we have caught hundreds of criminals thanks to my tech and protocols.
But not Spider-Man.
Look, I assure you and my charitable investors that Spider-Man is not long for this world. Not as I continually upgrade my sentries. The Vigilante's days are numbered once my next patch is released.
Smythe dismisses the reporter by turning his attention fully to the investors. Ben is left scribbling notes. Interior Smythe Tech, detention level. A collection of glass cells, a private prison. There are men and women in containment. Countless sentries and security personnel monitor the floor. With Flint at his side, Kraven paces before the newly captured prisoners. Eddie, still among them, the sonic shield still containing him. Kraven points at each man, assessing them and determining their fates.
Rikers, downstairs. Rikers.
He pauses at Eddie, who looks beaten and tired from the steady pulse of Sonic. The hint of a smile flickers on Kraven's cruel face.
Downstairs.
Smythe comes marching out of a lift, fuming.
Sergei, where have you been? I had an entire photo op arranged upstairs.
Mr. Smythe, I was doing my job, as you so regularly demand I do.
Your job? You had Spider-Man right there and he got away! Again!
I had not anticipated the spider being there. That was fluke instance. My prizes are these men.
Car thieves? Please. The investors' faith in me is already thin, thanks to Spider-Man remaining uncaptured. He's my white whale, Sergei.
Sir, you do know that Ahab dies at the end of Moby Dick.
You know what I mean!
He is an elusive and slippery target. Once your sentries are stronger, or more intuitive...
Stronger? I'm upgrading these things daily.
And I am providing you with the means to do so. He will be caught.
You are my employee, my tool in this grand hunt. I made you head of security as a favor.
Your robots are the tools. I am the hunter.
Then hunt! All I ask of you is to point me and my sentries to the proper places, and we do the rest. You use your years of poaching to sniff out the targets I need. I could write 2 lines of code to replace you like that. Don't push me, Sergei. I'll write that code and do this all myself.
I understand, Mr. Smythe.
Smythe storms away. Kraven watches him go. He flicks his hand at Flint, and the sentries carry the prisoners to their cells. As Eddie passes, Kraven turns his attention to him. For a moment, in the vibration, venom ripples over Eddie's body. Kraven smirks. Interior, Peter's apartment, number 1. Peter, asleep from his window, the sound of the city. His eyes open. He groans as he sits up from out of frame. His apartment is small. He hasn't unpacked all of his boxes yet. He shuffles to his bathroom and yawns. Close on his feet. Exterior, New York City, morning. Red and webbed boots run across brick. Spider-Man hurtles himself over the city and plummets to the concrete, mere inches before he impacts the I-95 eastbound. He fires a shot of web and whisks himself away over the endless traffic. A morning radio host's voice is heard.
Good morning, NYC. Looking at another beautiful day here in the Big Apple. Watch out for falling bad guys because Spider-Man has been busy the last couple of weeks.
A horn blares as Spider-Man runs over a windshield. The trucker within flips the bird at the webhead.
Hey, get off my truck, you prick!
Oh, looks like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Whoosh! Spidey swings on. Exterior streets, day. A robber runs out of a convenience store, gun in his hand, a bag of money in the other. The grocer chases him, waving a baseball bat. The robber turns to shoot him. Twip! A web strand wraps around the gun and yanks it sharply out of the man's hand. The robber looks from his hand and then up. Wham! He is grabbed by Spider-Man. The bag of money lands in the grocer's arms. Interior, Peter's apartment, number 1, morning. Peter pops out of bed. Exterior, New York City, day. Spider-Man cartwheels off a building and swings past the 14th Street Union Square station, snagging an old woman about to step into oncoming traffic.
I got you, ma'am.
Ah!
He sets her down and she smacks him with her purse.
How dare you manhandle me, you son of a...
I was just trying.
But I haven't seen any decrease in crime since he showed up.
You ask me, he's part of the problem. When's that Smith SOB gonna capture him with one of his robot sentinel things?
Exterior, New York City, day. Sentries soar through the skyline like low-flying jets. A group of gang members run from them. Exterior, back alley, night. Spider-Man ducks and dodges laser blasts from a group of goons in techie outfits.
Hey, did you guys buy these things at an evil flea market in Queens?
Pew, pew, pew! Spider-Man ducks. They continue to unload on him.
A simple no would suffice.
He leapfrogs over the blasts and webs the gang together before hanging them from the tops of a light post.
Tell him Spider-Man sent you.
Yeah, eat me.
Rude.
Interior, Peter's apartment, number 1. Morning. Peter opens his eyes and pops out of bed. He has scorch marks all over his body. Exterior, waterfront, day. Spider-Man lands in front of some smugglers.
Guys, the ferry for the Statue of Liberty leaves from Battery Park. You're way off.
The smugglers all open fire. The wall crawler twips, a few guns away from the men, some who flee.
He's gonna kill us, just like Hammerhead's guy.
No, hey, I've never killed anyone. Is he telling people that?
Spider-Man kicks the remaining guns away and grabs a smuggler.
Ah, please don't hurt me.
I'm not doing that anymore.
Can I go then?
Sure.
Really?
Of course not.
He leaves them all webbed to a cargo container. Exterior, George Washington Bridge, day. Spider-Man catches a woman attempting suicide. He places her on the solid ground and she sobs in his arms.
Just yesterday, he saved a woman on the George Washington. He's a hero. We want to hear your calls, New York.
He gives us hope, you know? Not many heroes out there and plenty of bad guys.
Yeah, because of him, he's bringing them to our neighborhoods. Smythe sentries are catching those guys, not Spider-Man.
Exterior, New York City, day. Sentries land in the middle of a shootout. Bullets ping off their bodies. One gunner points her hand and fires a laser from her actual fingertips. A sentry grabs her with a metal claw. Interior, Smythe Tech, detention level. Kraven watches as the sentries dump their load of captured criminals, including laser fingers. Kraven assesses her.
Downstairs.
Interior, Peter's apartment, number 1, morning. Peter pops off his bed, still in costume. His body is slimy from some previous night's activity. Exterior streets, day. A bus swerves and slams into a car, sending them both toward the sidewalk. Spider-Man swoops down and catches the car as it hops the curb. He spins on the spot and stops the bus as well with his free hand, denting the entire front of the public transit.
Everyone okay?
The driver of the car leans out of her window.
Can you put me down, please? I'm gonna be late for work.
Interior, Peter's apartment number 1, morning. Peter wakes up to someone knocking on his apartment door. He pulls the door open to find his landlord, who hands him an eviction notice.
Eviction? Why?
Your checks bounced.
They did?
Like basketballs.
The landlord storms away. Peter looks at the notice and frowns. He glances over at his camera sitting on his table. Interior, the Daily Bugle, day. Peter slaps pictures of Spider-Man down on the desk of J. Jonah Jameson.
Got some new pics for you, Chief.
Jameson glowers at the images. They're expertly taken.
Not your best work. Have Brant cut you a check.
Jameson storms away.
And don't call me Chief.
Peter glances over at Robbie Robertson, an older, distinguished reporter.
Hey, Robbie, what's got JJ's mustache in a twist?
He's ticked off. Some hotshot reporter from California he was supposed to interview last week never showed up. Cost the Bugle a few grand just getting the guy out here.
For an interview? Shoot, I'll do 20 questions with old Bristleface for a couple grand.
Ha, you wish.
Peter smiles. Betty Brant hands him a check.
Here you go.
Hey, this is half as much as last time.
Jonah sets the price, not me. Sorry, Pete.
Great.
Interior, the Parker home, day. Peter stands on the front stoop of his aunt's house with a box in his arms and a huge smile. Aunt May has on rubber dishwashing gloves and holding a sponge and a dirty plate.
Guess what?
May smiles sweetly and places the dirty plate and sponge on Peter's box.
I'll order dinner.
It's only for a week until I find a new place. I promise.
Peter walks through the front door and kicks it shut with his foot. He hurries up the stairs as May plucks her cell out of her pocket and starts scrolling for takeout.
You turned my room into an office?!
The bed is still there!
On the TV behind her, Alistair Smythe is being interviewed by a late-night talk show host. The banner below him reads, Smythe and the War on Crime. Interior, Smythe Tech, detention level, day. Eddie sits on the floor in a cell, staring out of the glass walls at a passing guard. Flint. Eddie looks horrible.
Hey, how long am I gonna be in here?
Until we let you go.
Hilarious.
The guard steps to the glass and taunts Eddie with a smirk.
You think so?
Eddie glares at the man.
Did I hurt your feelings?
I'll destroy you!
Venom leaps from Eddie's body and slams against the glass.
Josh!
The guard trips backwards and falls down. Venom licks the glass as Eddie smirks from his bed. Flint scrambles back to his feet, embarrassed.
Aw, did we hurt your feelings?
Flint presses a button on the wall. A jolt of sonic rips through the cell, causing Venom and Eddie to howl in pain. Venom retreats back into Eddie. As the sonic ceases, Flint walks away. Eddie lays there hurting.
We gotta get out of here.
We are too weak to take them all.
I know. I'll think of something. Just hang tight, buddy.
Eddie's eyes shift and look down the corridor of cells. There are several other detainees, all trapped like he is, and a few displaying some sort of ability. Angle on, laser fingers, pacing her cell. She looks up at a catwalk where Kraven appears. He descends down to the cells and directly to her. Kraven stands there a long while, his lips moving, but Eddie cannot make out any words. Laserfingers spits on the glass where Kraven's face is. He is unperturbed. He touches a panel on the wall and a blast of energy rips through the cell. Laserfingers screams and then drops to the floor. Eddie stares with concern. Kraven waves to some guards and they enter the cell, dragging Laserfingers away. Kraven turns and looks directly at Eddie. Eddie swallows hard, his jaw clamps tight. Exterior, streets, night. Officers Lamont and Gonzalez are pinned behind their squad in a standoff with some crooks. Gunfire comes from the darkness and abruptly ceases. The two cops carefully rise from their car. The crooks they were fighting are hanging from a streetlight webbed up. Interior, the Parker home, Peter's room, night. Peter plops down in his bed back at May's. He lays there for a moment. Somewhere out in the night, a siren drifts by. With a heavy sigh, he pops off his bed and out of frame. Interior, Smythe Tech, detention level, night. Eddie bangs on the glass, shouting,
Hey! Help! He's lost it! I'm gonna die in here, help!
Flint approaches with another guard.
Sit down or I'll zap the whole cell.
Do it, please! He's... Okay. Oh God, no!
Venom tears himself from Eddie's body, grabs him, and slams him into the glass.
Enough of your whining, you mewling quim. Now, give me your brains.
Venom pounds Eddie against the glass several times so hard, blood spurts from Eddie's mouth.
Jeez.
The other guards hit the sonic and a wave fills the cell. Venom shrieks in pain, as does Eddie. Venom leaps into Eddie as the poor guy flops to the floor. The sonic ceases. Eddie lay motionless and bleeding. The guards exchange looks of concern. Flint hesitates but opens the cell to check Eddie's pulse. As he bends, Venom slinks through the guard's legs unnoticed and dives into the second guard before he can utter a word. Little more than a choked gurgle comes from the man.
He's not dead.
That's good.
Flint exits the cell and snaps the wall closed.
We better get one of the docs in here. Make sure he's not damaged. Kraven will have my head if he is. He's been saving this freak for something.
Flint hurries off. The Venom guard watches him go and then glances at Eddie. Venom flashes in the guard's eyes.
I'll be back, Eddie, I promise.
The guard quickly heads for the stairs. On the upper catwalk, he pauses.
Wait. I've been infected. I need to...
You don't need to do anything.
The guard looks at his hands and shakes his head.
No, I have to...
If you turn us in, they will put you in one of those cells, and I will slam you against the glass.
The guard swallows nervously.
Now, when you get me out of here, I will simply let you go.
The guard looks around, anxious, and hurries off, whimpering. Exterior, New York City, day. Peter jogs up to the Daily Bugle, camera around his neck. Interior, the Daily Bugle, day. On the TVs, footage of reports of Spider-Man's recent heroics as well as the Sentries' work. Talking heads discuss the debate of vigilantes and superpowered crime. Peter walks around the bullpen, his head on a swivel. Robbie sees him and gives him a wave.
Pete, you got your camera?
Never leave home without it.
Good. I need a photographer for a fluff piece.
I actually have some new pics to offer JJ.
Betty walks by, flipping through paperwork.
He's out.
Any chance someone else can sign off on him? I could use the check.
Best I could do is this quick gig.
Yeah, all right.
Peter moves to follow Robbie and bumps into Betty as she passes by again, her head still down in her files.
Oh, sorry, Betty.
It's all right.
Peter considers her a moment.
Hey,
What?
would you,
What I what?
eat food with me sometime?
Betty stares at the dork before her,
No.
and she gets right back to work.
Fair enough, I wouldn't eat food either.
Parker, let's go.
Right.
And Peter runs back through the bullpen. Exterior, streets, day. The guard with Venom inside shambles out of the subway with every bit of the appearance of a drunk, walking in sporadic directions. The New York locals barely give him a second glance. Just another day for them.
Okay, back where we started now.
No!
The guard tries to pull himself in a different direction.
Stop fighting me!
I'm taking you back to... Kravinoff!
The guard and Venom fight for control of the guard's body.
No, you are not.
You said you'd let me go if I got you out.
Just one more thing.
The guard begins slapping himself. They topple into some garbage cans, and still, the locals just walk right on by.
Help!
No, they see nothing, they say nothing.
I'm possessed!
With booze, I'm clearly a drunk man.
Venom forces the guard into an alley. They flop to the ground, and Venom finally ejects himself from the man.
Fine.
The guard lays face down in the grime, unconscious. Venom struggles to maintain a form, more insubstantial goo than humanoid.
Your torture chamber has left me weak. I'd rip you to smithereens on any other occasion.
Venom kicks the guard's body, but falls over himself. He lay in the muck, pathetic. He's losing his strength every moment.
I need help. Help, Eddie. I need a host.
And he finally turns into a puddle, shivering painfully. For a moment, he sits there. A stray dog trots around the corner, its tail wagging. It reaches the gooey puddle and stops to sniff it curiously. Venom twitches, taking a partial form that makes the dog hop back with a bark.
I'm gonna eat you.
The symbiote lifts and then plops back down with a groan. The dog trots over, sniffs it, and then begins to eat it right off the ground.
Hey, no, don't eat me!
Venom squirms and fights, latching onto the stray. The dog yips happily, almost tickled by the experience.
Stop enjoying this, I'm devouring you for strength.
The dog shakes and shudders as Venom wraps himself entirely around the mutt, until the dog twists and contorts into a Venom dog.
Fresh host! I have control. I have an itch.
Venom dog begins nibbling at fleas.
Oh, this is a very satisfying sensation. Oh, what's that smell? I have a hunger for it.
The stray trots out of the alley back into the sidewalk and spots a hot dog vendor. He bounds over to the vendor.
Oh, yes, I am hungry for that.
Aw, hey, little guy.
The vendor scratches behind the pup's ear. Its tail wags happily.
Why is my rear moving so rapidly?
All right, scram you, Mutt.
I will not scram.
The dog sits and keeps looking up at the vendor.
I'm serious, dog. You're not gonna keep my customers away with your fleas.
The dog yips. The vendor shakes his head and nudges the stray away with their foot.
That's enough, get out of here!
Venom takes control. The stray enlarges into a hellhound, something like Gozer from Ghostbusters. Venom dives into the hot dog cart and begins to tear it to shreds as the vendor runs for his life. Venom Dog mows down the entire cart of meat and settles, small once more and tail wagging.
Okay, now I'm vented. Now I find cats.
The dog mutates into the Venom Hellhound again and races after a stray cat, plowing through passersby and knocking over anyone in his way. Interior Peter's apartment number 2, day. Peter walks into a crummy little studio holding the same box he walked into Maze with, turns on the light, takes in the barren space. His new home. A bug scurries away from him.
Home, sweet home.
He sets the box down and stretches. He walks to the window and leans out. We get a look at his new neighborhood, Brooklyn. From his pocket, his phone crackles. The police band Pete follows.
We got a 10:30 in progress, North Brooklyn Heights. Suspect believed to be a powered individual. Any units in the area of Hicks and Cranberry?
In the distance, through the rooftops, he catches sight of a trail of smoke coming from a figure flying through the air. Peter nods, called to action. Exterior New York rooftop, moments later. Spider-Man flips and rolls across a roof. He fires his webs and swings. He kicks his legs hard and pinwheels through the air. He yanks himself and dives over a roof and lands directly in the path of Beetle. Black and purple armor-clad, artificial wings and a briefcase in hand.
Nice suit. Oscorp brand?
Beetle immediately fires a repulsor blast from gauntlets.
Hey, now!
The webhead dodges. The blast puts a hole in a brick wall. Debris showers down. Spidey catches most of it with webbing.
Oh, you are making a mess, young man.
Zap! Another blast from the Beetle.
Young lady? Which is it? I don't want to be rude.
Zap! Spidey flips around the blast. Beetle rockets off. The hero fires his webs and grabs the villain by the ankles.
That's it! You're grounded.
Wham! Spidey swings the Beetle around and crashes them into the side of a building. A neighbor sticks his head out of the window.
Hey, assholes! Keep it down, will ya?
Sir, stay inside!
Beetle uses a blade from the wrist to cut the webbing and rockets off the roof. Spider-Man leaps up and tackles them midair, bringing them crashing down into a fire escape, tumbling all the way to the parking lot below. Another neighbor sticks their head out a window.
Yo, it's Spider-Man! Somebody call that hotline!
Not necessary!
Beetle puts a knee into the hero's chin, causing him to fall back. The criminal takes an offensive pose and readies to throw down with the wall crawler. A third neighbor leans out of their window, filming the fight.
What up, fam? I got me some Spider-Man action happening in the Heights, baby!
Spider-Man webs Beetle. As the villain crosses their arms, the razors on their gauntlets cut the webs and Beetle throws the punches that Spidey easily dodges.
Look, your tech is nice, but I'm literally I have super reflexes. I'm just gonna tire you out and then take you in, so why don't you just give it up before you...
A distant roar.
Before those things show up.
Thoom, thoom, thoom! 3 sentries land, arms extended. A huge clamp flies from one, which Spider-Man hops over, while the other 2 unleash a barrage of beanbags.
Hey guys, that was a quicker response time. Well done. Hold on a sec.
He webs Beetle around the legs and yanks them around, depositing them into a dumpster that Spidey rapidly closes.
Stay right there.
The sentries turn their full attention to the web slinger. Spider-Man dips, ducks, and dodges around every attack until he's on top of the lead bot, the one with the alpha crown.
Have you guys gotten upgrades? You look so shiny and new.
He tears off one of the shoulder cannons and throws it into another sentry's chest, causing it to twist away and fire blasts into the third. Spidey rips out some of the wiring from the exposed sentry's shoulder panel.
Oh, this looks expensive. Oops, was that important? Here, maybe you should hold on to it.
He punches the handful of mechanics from the alpha right through the torso of another. Sparks pop and hiss.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Did I break it?
The pesky hero pulls the entire front panel off, and Captain America whips it at the wall.
Always wanted to do that.
It bounces off the brick and ricochets into 2 of the 3 robots.
Get him, Spidey!
Sirens in the distance approaching. The third sentry pulls open the dumpster, Beetle pops out, and the thing grabs the criminal, squeezing them violently. Beetle blasts their repulsors, forcing the thing's grip loose and rocketing into the sky. The webhead is too focused to notice, punching the back of a robot into broken chunks.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I really do think I broke it this time. Ooh.
A cop car skids to a stop at the entrance of the lot. Lamont and Gonzalez leap from their cars, guns drawn.
Hands in the air, now!
Spider-Man takes the arm of the sentry he's dismantled and fires a blast directly into the other 2 sentries, putting holes in both their frames. As they crash to the ground in smoking heaps, Spider-Man waves to the pair of cops.
Gentlemen, I've apprehended the thief for you. They are right over... Well, that's embarrassing.
Beetle is gone. Spider-Man turns in a circle. Boom! The Alpha Sentry explodes, causing Spider-Man to jump. The 2 cops open fire on the hero.
Hey, whoa, guys, I'm on your side. How many times are we gonna do this?
Hey, yo, that reward is mine, officers. I made the call.
Spider-Man deftly moves around the bullets, kicks off the ground, and web slings his way out of the lot, leaving behind the wreckage of the sentries and the 2 cops.
Yeah, way to go, Spider-Man! Woo! Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Exterior streets. As Spider-Man swings away at street level, Venom Dog comes trotting down the sidewalk.
Okay, dog friend, I am healed now, and I had something I needed to do. I just can't remember what it was. You keep distracting me with your dog life.
The pup stops to sniff some trash cans outside of a butcher shop and sticks its nose into it.
Oh, are we going to eat this? Being a dog is the best. Nom, 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 nom.
Venom Dog munches away on the garbage. It looks up and trots to another pile, sniffing it.
Wait, you're not going to eat that now, are you?
The dog eats the slime.
Ah, gross! Being a dog is the worst!
Interior, Smythe Tech, detention level, day. Eddie sits in his cell, tired and bruised. His eyes flick up to find Kraven standing on the other side of the glass. Eddie blinks in surprise, not realizing the man was there or how long he'd been.
I've been looking forward to talking with you. I've been an admirer of your work for some time.
Yeah, if you know I'm a reporter, then why am I still in here?
Not speaking to you, Mr. Brock. I have no interest in your mediocre blogging.
Eddie stands up and marches to the glass.
Mediocre? Blogging?
I speak to your travel companion.
Eddie's jaw clenches.
I have never encountered a predator like you. Please, come out and let us have a conversation face to face.
Why don't you come in here and I'll let you?
Eddie glares right back at Kraven. The 2 stare unflinching. Kraven looks deeply into Eddie's eyes, and his mustache twitches. A flicker of fury in his eyes.
No? No, you don't want to go a few rounds, Ivan Drago? Come on, I'm feeling spry, get in here.
Kraven's eyes narrow. He marches away, passing Flint.
Drop Mr. Brock off at Rikers. I'm done with him.
I'm gonna write about you, Boris. I'm gonna tell my readers about you in your little private prison.
Flint signals 2 other guards and they move to Eddie's cell with shock batons in hand. Eddie steps back, ready for them to enter and ready to fight.
All right, yeah, go ahead, come on, bring it.
The glass opens, the guards enter swiftly and begin zapping Eddie with their batons, beating him to the ground. Exterior, New York City, sunset. The sun disappears behind the building. Night approaches. Venom Dog's tail sticks out of some trash in a ditch. Venom's head slithers out.
How much trash can one dog eat?
A passing couple jumps, startled by a talking dog. Another passerby, not bothering to notice Venom, pulls out their phone.
Hey, look! It's Spider-Man!
Angle on, Spider-Man lands on the edge of a nearby building, taking a seat.
Spider-Man?
Venom pulls the dog away. The pup fights the symbiote, not wanting to abandon the mucky meal. They struggle for control.
No more garbage juice. I have work to do. Stop fighting me.
Exterior, rooftop, night. Spider-Man sits with his mask pulled up and cell phone in one hand and a chocolate bar in his other.
It's not as nice as my last place, but it's all right.
I should come over. I'm positive you haven't unpacked.
That's not true. I've unpacked.
Everything?
Well, no, just the essentials.
So, just your Spider-Man pajamas.
May, I am a grown man. I do not wear Spider-Man Oh, you mean my costume? Then yes, I only unpacked my costume.
I'm coming over on my day off.
You don't have to do that.
I want to.
Well, so you could be all judgy about my living conditions?
No. So I can tell you about my friend Anna's niece. I think you two would be cute together.
Oh, May, ear break up. Can't. Losing signal.
Love you too, Peter. Be safe out there.
I will.
He ends the call. He sits a moment, taking in the night air. He sighs, a sadness always at the edge of his energy.
She sounds nice.
Ah! Damn it, dog!
Peter springs off the ledge, pulling his mask down.
Did you just talk? How did you get up here? No, answer the first question.
Venom Dog eats Peter's chocolate bar.
Thank God, real food.
Yeah, go ahead. Eat it. Talking dog.
Venom slithers out of the dog. The pup shakes its head and looks up at the symbiote, tail wagging.
Thank you, my friend, but I don't need your help anymore. Go, eat garbage and feces. Live your best life.
The dog yips happily as Venom scoops him up and lowers him back to the street. Spider-Man watches with bemused interest.
remember you. You're that thing that was gonna eat that guy in the warehouse a week or so back, right? I thought the Sentries would have snagged you.
They did.
Curiosity captures Peter. He walks around the symbiote, observing him.
What are you?
I am a symbiote from Clintar.
An alien? You're an alien? Oh my god, that's so cool. My friends got to fight aliens and I was like all disappointed. Wait, are we gonna fight?
No, I don't want to fight. I need your help.
Spider sense. Spider-Man jolts up.
Damn.
Boom!
A sentry rockets directly at the hero. He jumps over it. The robot flips mid-attack and fires a missile at Spidey. The wall crawler webs the projectile and chucks it back at his metal assailant. The sentry catches the missile.
Oh, great. More upgrades.
Wham! The sentry's metal hand whips out and grabs Spider-Man.
Not good.
The sentry pulls Spider-Man close to its robotic head, almost glaring. A scan from the thing's eyes goes up and down the hero. Spider-Man struggles, but the metal only groans. He can't break free.
Stronger, too.
A black liquid crawls up from Spider-Man's neck and covers his face. His red and blue suit turn black. Spidey's eyes widen as a new power fills him.
Whoa.
Kaboom!
Spider-Man bursts out of the sentry's grip, shattering its clawed hand. Spider-Man lands nimbly on the roof. He looks at his body. He is in the classic black suit.
What is this?
This is spectacular.
You're telling me? I feel
strong.
So strong. Yeah!
Spidey jumps, kicks, flips, and springs into the air. He fires a web and hurtles off into the night, web slinging faster than he's ever done before.
Whoa, this is insane!
You have so much power inside of you.
I've never felt like this in my life!
Neither have I.
The combined powers of the symbiote and the spider have taken Peter to a whole new level. He tears over the Brooklyn Bridge, through the brick and mortar of Lower Manhattan, and finally careens skyward and lands on the side of the Empire State Building.
Holy jeez!
We are amazing.
Their combined power is intoxicating.
Let's see what else you could do.
Yes, let us.
Spider-Man shifts to jump off the skyscraper, but pauses.
Wait, you said you needed my help earlier.
Oh, never mind that. Let's see how fast we can get from here to the M&M store in Times Square.
All right. Woohoo!
And the pair web off into the night. Interior jail, day. Clang! A metal cell door slams in Eddie Brock's bruised face. He's cuffed and an officer, holding him by the arm, pulls him down a corridor, past other cells full of inmates. They pass through another controlled checkpoint and down a beige hall. Interior courtroom. Eddie is led into a courtroom and sat at the defendant's table beside a rumpled suit containing a sweaty public defender, Gene Lauren. The frumpy man shuffles papers.
Gene Lauren, nice to meet you. We'll have you out of here in no time, Mr. Edwards.
Brock. Edward Brock, not Mr. Edwards.
Oh, well, my notes say Brock Edwards.
Yeah, that's a comma, buddy.
Oh, right. Yeah, I see that now.
Great.
Yeah, don't worry. I think we can plea this down from the 5 years.
To what?
1 year.
What? I wasn't even with those guys.
It says you were apprehended with 16 other known criminals by the deputized Smythe Sentries at an illegal chop shop.
I was with them, but I wasn't with them. I literally just flew in here 2 weeks ago for a job interview, and I sort of came across those guys.
Well, I'm not sure wrong place, wrong time will fly with Judge Lewis. Maybe we can ask for an extension? You'll only have to go to county instead of Rikers.
Maybe I should do the talking.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Elton Lewis.
Interior jail, day. Eddie sits down with his face in his hands on a thin mattress as the door to his cell clangs shut. On the other side of the bars, Lauren wipes his sweaty brow.
$10,000 bail is pretty reasonable for Judge Lewis.
Really? That's so good to hear.
I'll get you in touch with a good bondsman.
Great. Wait. Actually, I want you to call someone else for me.
Interior visitor's room, day. Eddie sits down in a room separated by glass. Inmates talk with their loved ones or lawyers. He picks up the phone on the glass to speak to the person on the other side.
Jameson?
You got a lot of nerve calling me to come bail you out, Brock. After the amount of money I spent flying you here, you're in so much breach of contract, I'm gonna sell you for parts.
Listen. I got a scoop. You're gonna want to hear this.
A scoop? You disappear for 2 weeks and you come back to me with a scoop? You're fired. No, wait, you were never even hired.
It's about Smythe Tech and the Sentries.
Jameson pauses. He looks at Eddie with narrowed eyes.
What about them?
They've got a private prison in the middle of their facility.
And?
And? What do you mean, and?
They have a contract with the city. Everyone knows about their detention facility. I donated to it. Hell, it's named after me!
Okay. Well, did you donate to an illegal experimentation and torture of people with superpowers?
Jameson stares at the reporter for a moment.
That guy is teamed up with a very pissed off Russian, and the two of them are using superpowered people to upgrade their Gestapo bots.
You got facts to back that up? I want factual stories, not your amazing fantasies!
I do. And I can get more.
Okay, you're hired again.
Really?
At half your original rate. And I'm docking you for the jail time.
Fine. Just get me out of here.
Interior, Peter's apartment, number 2, morning. Peter opens his eyes to the sun and pops out of frame. On the floor is a pile of chocolate candy wrappers. Exterior, New York City, day. Spider-Man, clad in black, swoops through the buildings, grazing his fingers along the side of a bus full of people marveling at him. The webhead swings, flips, and runs through the city. He webs a train as leverage to catapult himself through the air. He looks great, moving with an ease he's never had before. As he flies directly into camera, interior, the Daily Bugle, day. Photos slap down into Robbie's hands. Peter grins proudly at Robbie.
And these are Spider-Man?
Yep. Guess he got a new look.
Betty sticks a check under Peter's nose.
JJ said to pay you the regular rate for whatever you brought in that didn't suck.
Aw, where is old Bristletop?
Working on some big story.
Peter looks at the check and his swagger falters.
Hey, this is lower than last time.
Guess that's the new regular rate now.
Of course it is.
Peter shakes his head and strolls from the bullpen.
I do not like this Bristletop.
I know that feeling.
Just as Peter enters one elevator, Jameson and Eddie walk out of the other. Exterior, New York City, night. Spider-Man takes on a half-dozen crooks at the same time, sending them flying in every direction. He catches the fist of one and twists the guy's arm, causing it to snap loudly.
Oh, that's gotta sting.
He webs the bad guys to a wall. Interior, Peter's apartment, number 2, morning. Peter pops off the bed. Exterior, the docks, day. Peter throws an entire cargo container at a fleeing vehicle. The front end shatters as the goons inside fly out the windshield. Interior, restaurant, night. Peter eats dinner with Aunt May. A pretty waitress smiles at him.
She's cute.
Ah, she is.
I suppose I know better than to tell you to ask her for a number.
Peter glances at the waitress.
Why wouldn't she want you?
You know what?
Peter gets up and walks to the waitress. Aunt May, surprised, watches him speak to the girl. Peter struts back and sits down.
Well?
She said no.
Ah.
You're too good for her anyway.
Peter eats his meal unfazed. Exterior parking structure, night. Lamont and Gonzalez stand staring at a pile of webbed-up criminals, their faces all bloody and bruised, some sobbing.
Guess he's back to breaking bones.
Looks like it.
Exterior, New York rooftop, night. Spider-Man twirls through the air and lands on a stone gargoyle. He snaps his sight on a building 2 blocks down. Beetle soars out of a window holding a small crate.
Looky who we have here.
Exterior, the Brooklyn Bridge, night. Under the famous bridge, Beetle sets down, resting the crate in the dirt and grass. Flipping it open, we don't see what's inside. Instead, wham! Spider-Man comes sailing out of nowhere and plants both feet into the crook. Beetle rolls like a rag doll to the river's edge. They rise, groggy, shaking their head.
I've been hoping we'd meet up again. I've got a few more questions about that tech you're sporting.
Beetle moves fast, whipping a pumpkin bomb at the webhead. Spider-Man easily catches it and looks at the thing. A flash of a memory. Harry Osborn throwing the exact same bomb. Spider-Man twitches in anger. His head turns from the bomb to the villain.
You using this on me?
His eyes shift to the crate. Inside are a dozen more of the goblin bombs. A flash of a memory. Gwen falling. Spider-Man turns dangerously slowly to the Beetle.
You think you're the new Goblin?
In a spike of rage, he whips the bomb at Beetle, who has just a moment to dive away as it goes off. Before Beetle can take flight, though, Spider-Man's hands grab the wings and slam Beetle to the ground. Fists find helmet. Spider-Man hits the Beetle harder and harder, cracking the armor, protecting the villain's head. Flashes of Harry fill Peter's vision. He roars at Beetle, and Venom appears, fangs and fury.
Die!
Beetle raises their hands in front of their face, shaking in terror, screaming through their mask. Spider-Man freezes over the defenseless criminal.
Don't stop!
No. What am I doing?
He drops Beetle and backs away.
What is this?
I thought you gave up on being a dick.
Spidey looks up to find Black Cat holding the stolen crate.
Cat, I didn't mean to...
Beetle groans. Spidey flinches to punch, but he stops himself again. He shakes his head, trying to clear it.
Yeah, it really looks like that.
Spider-Man rubs his head, not sure what came over him.
I'm just gonna take this and go. Cool?
She turns and runs.
She cannot.
Spider-Man looks down at Beetle. He kneels and checks for a pulse.
She's getting away. What are you doing?
Making sure we didn't kill them.
Beetle is alive. Spider-Man exhales with relief. He pulls Beetle into a sitting
Peter,
position.
she's getting...
Stop!
Peter overpowers Venom in the single word. The hero stands there a moment, takes a breath, and webs after Cat. Exterior warehouse moments later. Cat comes to a rest on a loading dock. She checks the crate.
I thought I told you to stop stealing.
Cat stands to find Spider-Man landing.
You gonna beat me up too?
Yes.
No.
Spider-Man turns away from Cat. She tilts her head.
Hey, you okay?
I'm fine.
Peter squeezes his fists tightly, suppressing Venom.
What's up with you? What's with this new look?
Peter shakes his head again, trying to get his bearings.
Thought I'd take a page out of your fashion book. All black. Blending into the shadows, right?
Stealth? No. You talk too much for stealth.
I look tougher though, right?
Yeah. So that's your thing again? Beating the hell out of people?
Not all of them.
Me?
No, but I'll tie you up.
Oh, really? I thought you called it webbing.
Spider-Man walks toward her. She takes a step back, cautious.
Why do you need all that tech anyway?
It's my severance.
Yeah?
He is close to her now. She lifts her chin and parts her lips seductively.
Yep. Oscorp owes me, so their unclaimed goods are mine for the plundering.
He grabs her by the wrist, holding the crate. She keeps her eyes locked on his mask.
Bad kitty.
Naughty spider.
He pulls his mask up, exposing his mouth, and moves in to kiss her. Cat is shocked. She pulls back.
What the hell are you doing?
What?
That's not how this goes. I flirt with you, you get uncomfortable, I get away. That's how this dance has gone for years.
So, maybe I'm done dancing.
Oh, God, what? No.
But I thought you were kind of giving me sick...
Oh, my God, no. Oh, hero boy. Oh, whatever weird thing you've got going through right now, you need to get it together.
She pulls his mask down and taps his cheek.
Oh, you're cute, but you're not my type. You don't have the right equipment.
She shoulders the crate and struts away into the shadows.
See you around, webhead!
Spider-Man is left standing there, stunned.
You let her go?
Shut up.
What did I do?
We almost...
Blam! Bullets fly from the shadows above. Spidey runs for it. He webs and catapults himself over traffic. Bullets continue to zip through the air around him. Blam! Blam!
Move! Come on!
Each shot narrowly missing him. He swings into Brooklyn, weaving into the buildings until the shots stop. He keeps going, breathing harder with each swing and pull. Finally, he lands on the side of a tower, completely shaken.
What the hell was that?
He shakes with adrenaline and fear. Exterior, the Brooklyn Bridge, continuous. High on the bridge, Kraven shoulders his rifle and stares unblinking into the city. His eyes narrow. Interior, Smythe Tech, day. Kraven stands in his office, staring at a large monitor of Spider-Man footage. Smythe enters with a handful of mechanical guts, including the Alpha Crown, which he throws at Kraven's feet.
2 more Sentries down last night. How is he still able to elude our advancements?
Kraven keeps his keen eyes on the footage before him.
He is an adaptable foe.
Stop with your admiration. He is our target, Sergei. Our only target as far as I'm concerned. I had 3 investors drop out last week alone. We are hemorrhaging money.
What of your other endeavors? Your space program? Your electric cars? You do not need this vigilante contract. It is silly.
Silly? Those bounties pay for your salary and provide a smokescreen for those other endeavors. We bring in the bad guys. People leave us alone.
I am not in it for the bounty. I'm hunting for a more noble reason.
Smythe pinches the bridge of his nose and paces.
Where is Spider-Man, Sergei?
I do not yet know what he is truly capable of.
It's been 5 years! You know enough! Where is he?
Kraven looks from his employer to the monitors again, at an image from the Daily Bugle of Spider-Man in the black suit.
He has the symbiote.
And that means what to me?
It means it's time to test our next upgrades.
Now you're talking sense.
Smythe presses an intercom on the desk. His voice echoes through the building.
Prepare launch pads for the Spider Slayers.
Smythe and Kraven both stare with eager eyes at the footage of the hero. Exterior streets day. May and Peter walk together. Peter's holding shopping bags of home supplies.
Don't complain. Not every grown man has an aunt as sweet as me.
I know, I'm not complaining.
I was doing a tarot reading last night, and there are some really powerful energies coming from you.
Oh, you do tarot now?
I've always done card readings.
Since when?
Since always.
Okay, Gene Dixon.
Who?
Famous fortune teller, astrological cookbook and horoscopes for animals, advised FDR and Nixon.
Oh, of course, that Gene Dixon. How do you know the weirdest things?
I read a lot.
Clearly. You should be a teacher.
What?
Yeah, you should be a teacher. You'd be so good at it. It would be a much more secure income than pictures for that rag newspaper.
I'm not gonna be a teacher.
But you could be. Oh, and you could meet a cute girl teacher as well.
Well, now we're arranging my marriage and my career.
Something like 70% of teachers are females. What? I read too.
Peter holds the door for May and they enter his building. Interior, Peter's apartment number 2, sunset. May has put flowers along the windows facing the city and is now arranging picture frames on the sill above his bed. Her, Uncle Ben, Peter's parents, Gwen.
I'm just saying, you can't be Spider-Man every single night. You can go on a date once in a while.
Peter dusts the ceiling above her, crawling around the light.
I go on dates.
When?
There's this one girl I see from time to time. She's feisty.
Spider senses go off. Peter's eyes widen. The world slows down. His eyes shoot to the window. A new sentry, a spider slayer, hovers just outside, its shoulder cannons rolling to life, bullets already emerging from the barrels, rockets already coming from its sides. Peter dives for Aunt May. Venom begins to form around his body, the missiles penetrating his walls, ripping through them. Fire begins to envelop the building. May's face is barely registering the moment as Peter wraps himself protectively around her and smashes through the window over his bed. Exterior part of Peter's apartment number 2. The Slayer hovers facing the building as it's blown to hell. When it's done, the place is a fiery, smoky wasteland. Peter lands in the street, cradling Aunt May.
May, are you okay? Look at me! Look at me, are you okay?
Peter!
Spider sense. He whips around to find a veritable army of guards all aiming guns. The Spider Slayer lands in the street. Everyone opens fire. The world slows once more. Spider-Man grabs May and literally throws her. He sends a spray of webs to create a net to catch her, all while flipping around and through the bullets. As May lands safely out of harm's way, the world snaps back into full speed. Spider-Man begins to systematically fight through the guards, and he is not gentle. He punches men in the chest, sending them flying, and makes it to the Slayer.
Attacking me in my home!
He slams his fist into the metal monster. Its clawed feet dig into the pavement and only shifts a few meters. The furious hero has a moment to register the newly minted threat.
Another upgrade.
Spider sense. A bullet whizzing toward him from one of the guards. As he continues to lay into the robotic Slayer, a Venom tentacle pulls up a piece of debris to deflect the bullet and then throws it at the shooter. Spidey dodges the Spider Slayer. He can't put a dent in the metal threat.
Deal the guards!
And Spider-Man does, with extreme prejudice. He lets the symbiote's fury fuel his own, and while dipping around the attacks of the Slayer, he's able to pulverize the men with guns, bones break, blood is drawn. He slams Amanda to the side of the burning apartment, just beside the place May was thrown to safety. Peter puts her behind him and clasps a hand around the guard's throat. Venom's features form over the mask, and fangs appear as he leans into to bite the man's head off. Spider-Man jerks back. Aunt May watches with horror in her eyes. He hesitates, the Venom features fading in an instant.
What? Oh, not again. May,
Aunt May takes a terrified step back from her nephew.
May!
Cops and reporters speed to the scene, cops leaping out to point their guns, Flint and 2 guards rushing forward. From a cab, Eddie Brock jumps out.
Oh, shit.
Peter pushes Aunt May to safety once more. She falls into the arms of Eddie.
I got you, ma'am.
Eddie protectively pulls her behind his cab for cover. The Spider Slayer leaps to the hero. Spider-Man jumps into the thing's head and grabs the Alpha Hound. He crushes it. The Slayer pauses for an instant, whips around. Slayer vision. The robot targets everyone with a gun.
Shut it down! Shut it down!
Spider-Man punches the Slayer in the back of the head, and it stumbles forward. Flint grabs a massive specialized rifle and points it at the wall crawler. Blam! Blam! 2 shots are fired. Spider-Man dodges the bullets.
May, I'm sorry!
Spider sense. The 2 bullets from Flint curve mid-air and come right back at him.
Uh-oh.
Spider-Man bolts. The tracer bullets follow. Heat seekers. Spidey yanks, pulls, and webs his way through the city as fast as he possibly can, the tracer bullets following him.
Stop running, just catch them!
Are you kidding me? I can't catch a bullet!
Yes, you can! We can do anything, just turn and catch them!
Shut up, I'm trying to concentrate!
That's what I'm telling you, concentrate on catching the bullets.
Spidey soars through downtown in a blur, the bullets unrelenting.
I believe in you!
That's not enough!
You're right! But our combined powers are...
Spider-Man glances back, the bullets are closing in. Exterior, Peter's apartment number 2. Flint squints, watching his bullets chase the webhead.
Where's that crown?
Guards begin to rapidly install a new crown on the Slayer. Exterior streets.
I can't keep running.
He prepares himself. He whips around a corner and slams to the sidewalk, causing pedestrians to jump back from the sudden arrival. He turns to face the coming bullets.
Oh God, please don't let me die.
See the bullets. Concentrate on them. Slow the world down so that there's only us and our goal. And then do it!
He puts both hands up. The bullets come right at him. The bullets reach his hands. He closes them both. A beat. The bullets are in his hands.
Whoa, dude.
You bet your butt, whoa! Thank you, magic lovers.
He opens his first hand to reveal the caught bullet.
And notice that at no time did my hands leave my...
He opens the other hand to find a gaping, bloody hole.
Oh shit, that's gonna leave a mark.
A pedestrian takes a selfie. Whoosh! Spider-Man looks up to see the Spider Slayer racing toward him. He's off like a shot again, this time running on foot, leaping alongside of the building.
Don't run! Don't run, fight!
My hand is bleeding!
Hold it out for me!
While they're still running, Venom wraps his symbiotic self through and around the wound to heal it. For a moment, Spidey's hand throbs. The black goo peels away and Peter's hand is fine, if not a bit pink. Spider-Man fires webs and pulls himself upward to flee the Slayers more deftly. For a moment, he vanishes. The Spider Slayer flies through 2 buildings and Spider-Man lands on its back. Peter punches the thing in the back as hard as he can and finally makes a dent. He squeezes the metal and yanks it off, exposing its innards. He points his arm at the hole, ejects Venom off his body, and fills the inside of the Slayer. In a moment, Venom rips the thing from the inside out, while Peter punches it to pieces. Using his webs, he creates rains and guides the metal menace into the burning apartment. As it smashes headfirst into the building, Venom shoots out, and he and Spider-Man flip to the adjacent building rooftop. Venom has retained the white Spider-Man symbol on his chest.
There, see? I saved you.
Saved me? You nearly got me killed!
Below, Peter looks at the cops and Aunt May and the press, including Ben Urich, reporting on the scene. The paramedics are tending to the wounded guards. On the street, one of the cops points to the roof.
Is that 2 Spider-Mans?
That's not Spider-Man.
No, the blue and red one is.
On the roof.
God, look what I did.
They attacked us in our home.
No, they attacked me. There is no us.
How can you say that?
You're doing something to me. You're making me the person I don't want to be anymore.
We're the true lethal protector.
He moves to Spider-Man, but the hero slaps the symbiote away.
No!
Street.
They're fighting.
Yeah, there's still a threat. Take him out.
Rooftop. Venom tries to attach himself to Peter again, but the hero shakes him away, fights him off by pulling and peeling at the goo.
Don't you understand? I don't want to be lethal. I've had enough of you, of this. You can't be lethal and friendly.
You're rejecting me?
Yes! Get the hell off!
Bang! 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 The cops and the Smythe guards open fire on the pair. Spider-Man breaks free and webs away, leaving Venom slithering the other direction. On the street, all eyes up on the roof, Eddie slinks back through the crowd, leaving Aunt May staring worriedly up at her nephew. Interior, unmarked van, down the street, sunset. The sun dips below the horizon. Night arrives, sitting only a block away from the burning apartment. The smoke clear through the front window. In a large van full of computer monitors is Smythe and Kraven, along with technicians. The back door opens and Flint is standing there, head bowed.
Spider-Man got away, Mrs. Smythe.
I can see that. You think I can't see that? We've been watching the whole time. What do you think I'm doing in here? You set me up for failure. I might as well have fought him myself.
Kraven sits with his fingers steepled and staring at the footage of Spider-Man and Venom fighting.
No, I was testing the man, and now I know his limits. Now, I am truly ready to capture him. The real hunt is about to begin.
Now you're going to begin? What have I been paying you for?
This. And now, I am going in for the kill.
Kraven stands and pauses the footage on Spider-Man and Venom.
Send all our detainees to Rikers, Alistair. It's time to put some chum in the water.
Intermission. Fade in. Exterior cemetery, morning. A crisp dawn. Mist hangs over the headstones. Peter stands before Gwen's grave, sets down a flower. Reveal the grave is covered in them.
I really hoped what me and the other Peters did might have brought you back somehow. Max and Dr. Connors returned, and they were both cured. I thought that...
He sits and leans against the headstone.
I told May everything. She handled it way better than I thought she would. I actually wish I'd have told her sooner. I just never wanted her to be in any danger, you know, and then I got attacked at my new apartment, which I now realize I don't even have anymore. She was right there in harm's way because of me. Just like you.
He picks at the older flowers, cleaning up Gwen's plot just to be doing something.
So, aliens are real, that's the thing now. And I joined with one, and it made me more powerful than I've ever been. Gwen, it was impossible. I felt stronger and faster. But it made me angry again. It made me hurt people again. I think what's the worst part is that I feel guilty for feeling good. Hitting that hard. Making bad guys pay for what they do. I felt like I was punishing them for every bad thing in the world.
He lays down beside her headstone.
Having all that power was intense, and now it's gone. I mean, I'm still powerful. I could still do the things that I can do, but with the symbiote, it was addicting. Now it's gone. It feels strange. I don't know. I was supercharged, and now I'm just, like, regularly charged. Like, normal supercharged instead of black alien goo supercharged. It's been a weird week. I guess you can't really understand, huh?
He stares up at the slowly lightening sky. He watches a bird fly by and land on a power line. A thought crosses his mind. He sits up, kisses his hand, and touches the grave.
I love you, Gwen. Thanks for listening.
He hurries off. Exterior, Times Square, day. The M&M store. Eddie steps out of the monument to chocolate and moves around tourists. He makes his way alongside the building to the back alley. Once in back, he scans the dumpsters and garbage cans. A pigeon lands on the edge of a trash can. It picks at some of the refuse within. Snap! A black tentacle snatches it off the edge and into the can. Feathers pop out. The can rattles. Eddie walks over to it and peers inside.
What are you doing in there?
Don't look at me.
Come on, buddy, just come out.
No, I'm a monster.
Yeah, what's new? Get out here.
Venom peeks out from the can.
I was gonna come rescue you.
I could see that. Running around with Spider-Man?
Venom slithers out of the can like a large snake and hangs his head in shame.
He meant nothing to me, Eddie.
But you're keeping the new look, huh?
It was a fling. He tricked me. He had these abilities and this weird code of not eating people. He was nothing like you.
I don't let you eat people either.
Venom hugs Eddie.
I missed you so much.
Yeah, well, we've got work to do.
Oh, you got the job at the trash newspaper?
Yes, but that's not what I mean. Come on.
Venom slathers himself into Eddie, bonding them once more. Eddie shivers, shakes his head, and strolls from the alley.
I'm hungry.
Eddie pulls a jumbo bag of M&Ms out of his pocket.
I got you, pal.
Whoa, Eddie.
Eddie smiles, and for a moment, everything is lovely. Venom takes control and Eddie tears open the bag of chocolate, ravenously devouring the contents to the fright of anyone near the weird man. Interior, Dillon Electronics, day. A small electronics store in Harlem. Max Dillon sits in the back of the shop, futzing with a toy robot. The back door is open to the sunny day. Peter appears.
Looks like you're doing all right for yourself, Max. 6 months and you've already got a thriving business. Electronics, huh?
Max looks at Pete and then goes back to working on the toy.
My mom helped me open it. Her name's on the lease. I didn't expect to see you again so soon.
Wanted to check in.
You gonna kick my ass?
No.
'Cause you took my powers away, remember?
I know, Max.
I saw you on the news in that black suit. You know when I said I wish there was a black Spider-Man? That's not what I meant.
Yeah, but didn't you see? They're saying it was an imposter.
Max just looks over his glasses.
Yeah, alright, it was me.
What was that all about? You getting mean again? Figured our little trip would have given you some new perspective on life and all. You don't see me juicing myself up and getting all sparky again, do you?
Peter walks around the shelves of broken machines. He picks one up and turns it over in his hands.
Do you want to?
Max looks out at the sunny city.
Being honest, every day.
Peter sets the doohickey down.
Do you think you could be a good person with that much power?
Me or you?
Anyone.
You? I bet. Me? I don't know. Once I was like this again, I was mad, disappointed. But then I settled down. I felt good about just being me. Having all that power, I couldn't carry it the right way. I'm built to play with toys. You're made to swing around being a good guy with whatever power you got in you. Powers don't really change you. They just amp up who you really are. You're a good guy, Peter.
Peter smiles and nods in return.
You are too, Max.
Max walks to the counter and waves to a kid waiting nearby.
Here you go, kid.
The kid takes the toy and scurries down an aisle to his mom, who is a rather attractive woman.
Stay smart, Pete. I gotta do my thing.
A trio of police cars roar past the shop, sirens blaring.
And it looks like you gotta clock in.
Stay around, Max.
Peace.
As Peter slips out the back door into the alley, Max watches him go, angle on Max's hand resting at his side. The tiniest of sparks flickers over his fingertips. Exterior Hudson Parkway, day. A prison bus turned on its side, cracked open like an egg. The prisoners, detainees from the Smythe facility, have escaped, taken the guards hostage, and have blocked the highway to face off against the cops. Squads of police cars form a noose around the bus and barrier of cars. Gunfire is exchanged between the cops and prisoners. Inside the bus, Laserfingers is free. She's using her power to melt the locks on two other prisoners, both of whom appear to be abnormal. Outside, a prisoner unloads on the nearest cop's car.
I'm not going back.
At his feet are hostages huddled on the floor. One of the prisoners grabs a hostage and shoves them out into the open. The cops cease fire at the sight of an innocent.
Come and get him!
And on that cue, a web hits the hostage in the chest and yanks them to safety.
Don't mind if I do.
The hostage lands safely in the arms of Spider-Man, standing with the cops. One of the cops points his gun at the hero.
You're under...
You can arrest me later, Officer Krupke.
Spider-Man jumps toward the overturned bus.
Take him out!
The prisoners open fire. Spidey lands on the hood of a car, smashes his foot down, and tips it over to make a shield.
Hey, you keep this up, you're not getting dessert for a week.
Inside the bus, Laserfingers finishes her work, and the remaining prisoners are free. They crawl out of the wreckage. Gibbon, an ape-man, runs at Spider-Man and begins throwing punches.
Spider powers, Spider-Man, ape powers, ape-man? Oh, how about Baboon Dude?
Big Man, a huge muscle-bound freak, wraps his hands around a Jeep and chucks it. Spider-Man ducks the car and pauses when he doesn't hear it land. He turns and ducks again as it flies right back over the webhead and smashes into Big Man, utterly crushing the unsuspecting criminal. Venom runs past the cops, ready to join the fight, still donning the white spider symbol.
Stand back, citizens!
Oh, what are you doing here?
The lethal protector has arrived!
No lethal protecting!
Spider-Man punches Gibbon across the face, sending the ape-man to the ground in a heap. Pew pew! Lasers fly past Spidey. He scoops up a side view mirror and reflects the laser right back to its source. Laserfingers falls back, stunned by her own powers. Doom, doom, doom! Venom and Big Man exchange blows. The ground shakes. Below the bridge, a figure steps out of the shadows and looks up at the action. On the bridge, Spider-Man webs Laserfingers and tosses her back toward the cops as the remaining prisoners all turn their attacks on the two heroes. Spidey lands back to back with Venom, and the two of them begin taking out baddies one by one, disarming, punching, and webbing, while also avoiding any swings of the massive fists of Big Man.
I thought I told you I didn't want your help!
Venom's face peels back to reveal Eddie.
I don't think you're in a position to decline.
Below the bridge, the shadowy figure raises some sort of cannon and aims it upward. On the bridge, Spider-Man and Venom fight side by side.
Buddy, that thing isn't what you think it is. You gotta get it off!
Oh, I know all about Venom here.
Venom? Is that a little on the nose?
He's not exactly known for his subtlety.
The pair duck Big Man's arms. Venom reforms around Eddie. He grabs Big Man and suplexes him onto the pavement. Shunk! A massive beam of energy erupts from below and whips all around the bridge. Encircling the bus, prisoners, and heroes, a hole opens and consumes the battlefield, sending it falling. Exterior below the bridge. The bus and pavement crash into the lot below the bridge, Venom and Spider-Man landing safely, while the prisoners land groaning or unconscious.
What was that?
Laser fingers?
Seemed like a little more than fingers.
Spider sense, both Spidey and Venom turn at the tingle coming from behind. Kraven the Hunter emerges from the shadows and dust. He is in armor fit to his form and a lion skin coat that gives him the appearance of the king of beasts.
I've been waiting for this moment for a long time.
I don't really do autographs, pal.
I did not arrange all of this for autograph, my friend.
Venom peels back, revealing Eddie's face.
I know this guy. This is the Smythe's head of security, Kravinoff. He's one torturing people in there.
I do not torture. I study, and I hunt, and I kill my prey. And you, Spider-Man, have been a very noble prey indeed. Nearly as enticing as Mr. Brock's alien Venom.
Yeah, well, this moose and squirrel aren't going to be taken so easily, okay?
Venom rushes forward. Kraven moves with almost uncanny speed. A rifle appears in his hands from his coat, and he blasts a sonic wave at Venom. Even Spider-Man has to cover his ears.
Ow!
Kraven throws out a handful of devices that instantaneously form a vibrating shield of sound waves. Venom bounces off the barrier. He begins to peel off Eddie. Kraven moves on Spider-Man, throwing his coat off in a flourish and sending a punch at the wallcrawler's head. Spider-Man ducks the attack.
Pal, unless you got some powers you're hiding, you're not gonna stand a chance here.
Pow! Kraven jabs the hero in the solar plexus and causes Peter to keel over. Bam! Kraven plants a knee into the stumbling webhead. Spider-Man on the back foot, Kraven spins and fires a pistol at Venom as the symbiote cascades off of Eddie and into one of the prisoners.
No!
Eddie collapses to the ground, clutching his stomach. The Venom prisoner runs from the bullets and jumps. As a slug lands in the fleeing prisoner's hip, the black alien goo throws itself into another prisoner. Spider-Man regains his footing and sends a kick directly at Kraven. The Hunter steps over the kick and punches Spider-Man in the face, causing him to flop backwards. Kraven opens fire on Venom again as the symbiote ejects itself from one prisoner to another, this one holding a rifle that whips around to fire at Kraven. Kraven rolls from the stream of bullets, pulls out a large vibrating knife and chucks it at the Venom prisoner. It slams into the man's shoulder and drops him. Venom rips himself off the falling man. Spider-Man takes another swing at Kraven, but the man dodges and Spidey punches the bus bottom out instead, getting his fist caught in the innards.
How are you dodging me?
I have 40 years of well-honed skills as world's greatest hunter.
Well, that's just cheating then.
Spider-Man swings and misses again.
Come, Spider, don't hold back.
I'm not.
Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. Eddie violently coughs on the ground. He's bleeding from the stomach. He watches Spider-Man and Kraven. He sees Venom screeching in pain from the surrounding sonic barrier. With all his strength, Eddie crawls to the nearest device, grabs a rock, and smashes it. The barrier wall wobbles, beginning to fall. Kraven puts a boot into Spidey's back.
You're really starting to tick me off.
Good!
Kraven throws a punch, and Peter catches it.
You wouldn't like me when I'm ticked off.
Kraven's lip twitches. Spider-Man throws him straight through the hole above. He webs the sonic devices and yanks them all toward him. Catching each one, he smashes them into bits. The sonic wall is no more. On the bridge, Kraven lands on the roof of a car. SWAT officers race past him and toward the hole, ready to battle. Below, Venom and Spider-Man hurry to Eddie.
Eddie, no!
Heal him! You healed me!
That was only your hand. You have powers. My Eddie is human.
Spider-Man scoops Eddie into his arms.
Come on, we gotta get out of here.
They race away as the SWAT team rappels into the crater. Interior Smythe Tech Day. Technicians scurry around the facility. Smythe is pacing before a wall of monitors filled with news stations reporting on both the apartment attack and the prison bus incident. Kraven plows out of the lift. He looks absolutely furious, a bit bruised from his fight.
No more cat in the mouse! I will kill this Spider-Man!
Sergei, are you seeing this?
Kraven pays him no mind, marching a beeline to his office. Smythe keeps pace directly behind him.
Every major news network is displaying footage of my paramilitary robot force, a force that has been supplementing the police, flagrantly destroying public property. My investors have all dropped out, even the insane news magnate who wanted his face on a Sentry. My stock is falling. Literally, everything that could have gone wrong for me has gone wrong in the past 3 hours.
And your head of security has also quit.
Excuse me?
You no longer employ me, Mr. Smythe.
Kraven steps behind his desk, hits a wall panel, and opens to reveal his private cache of hunting gear. Armor pieces reminiscent of Wakandian Dora Milaje? Spears, swords, knives, and a special rifle, which he pulls off the wall along with fistfuls of shells. He pockets them in his lion skin coat.
You're not leaving. I'm locking down the building until I can figure out how to spin this.
Kraven shoulders his rifle and pulls on the specialized armor.
You can do that once I am gone. I have no reason to come back here.
Sergei, they might be coming to arrest us. This is your fault. No. We say it's Spider-Man's fault. He was at both locations. We can spin this, yes. Yes, get me Jameson. No, get me Ulrich at frontline.
Kraven turns. The barrel of his gun swings into Smythe's face. He ducks.
Deal with your own mistakes, Smythe.
These are our mistakes.
I did not order your slayer to attack building in broad daylight.
Yes, you did. You convinced me to do it.
I did not send an understaffed prison bus into the heart of city.
You did that too!
Kraven shoves Smythe aside and moves over to a set of monitors displaying surveillance of the city. He begins scanning them for any sign of Spider-Man. A monitor on the main wall catches Smythe's attention. Kraven's face on the screen beside Jameson reporting.
Sergei!
He activates the audio.
And the Daily Bugle can now report that Smythe's tax head of security is none other than Interpol's 15th most wanted criminal and internationally wanted poser, mercenary, and suspected assassin, Sergei Kravinoff. Isn't it coincident that these detainees suddenly break loose while in transport? This footage suggests that not only was Kravinoff present at the scene, but so was Spider-Man. The very criminal Smythe has promised he would capture. Could it be this international fugitive has been in league with this wall-crawling menace all this time? Has this all been some false flag ploy to strip the fine people of New York of their freedoms? Have we bestowed too much trust on the secret police? Our crack team of investigative journalists have insight on the entire Smythe tech operation from the inside out.
Brock!
Kraven moves, and once again, Smythe gets in his path, putting his hands on the hunter's chest to stop him.
Stay, Sergei. We can spin this. We can fight this together.
Kraven clenches his jaw. He looks at the news report.
Duh. I will fight.
Good.
Interior, Queen's Hospital, night. Eddie lay in the ICU, unconscious and attached to a monitor. Aunt May checks his numbers. She's in her nursing uniform. She opens one of his eyes, waving a light past his pupils. For a moment, his eye behaves normally. Then, black liquid rolls over it. She jumps back, a little spooked. She hurries to the hallway. Peter is seated nearby, sipping a coffee. He looks tired.
Your friend is stable. And his friend is still, swimming around in there.
He said he calls him Venom.
Little on the nose, isn't it?
And I wouldn't exactly call them my friends. I only just met that guy today. The symbiote I met about a week ago, we teamed up for a bit. You saw the results of that at my former apartment.
Aunt May sits next to her nephew.
You scared me back there.
I know. I'm so sorry. It was that thing, that alien in there.
It made you do those things? Made you angry like that?
Peter thinks a moment, trying to find the truth within himself.
No. It brought out something that's always in me. I'm holding back a lot of anger and fear.
Oh, Peter.
It's because of what's happened to the people I love and care about. Because of me. Uncle Ben, Captain Stacy, Gwen, and almost you today. Every time I feel like I'm getting ahead, making a real difference, I'm reminded how easily it could all be taken away no matter how hard I try. Sometimes I just want to let the rage take over, but I know that would be irresponsible. That would get more people hurt.
All you can do is your best. And sometimes that's not going to be enough. But you can't lose hope.
He lowers his head and sits defeated.
I don't know what to do.
Aunt May puts her arm around Peter.
Well, you start by doing the hardest thing. Forgive yourself. I believe in you, Peter. You're a good person. And I know you always find the right way. It's who you are.
She squeezes him. Peter hugs his aunt.
And I'm glad you have a friend, Peter. Someone like you who can help you and watch your back. Like your friends from that other world. People who want to do the right thing. Just like you.
Like I said, he's not really a friend.
Still, I saw you two helping each other on the news. You should do that more often. Team ups or whatever.
Sure I will. Just gotta find people who want the same things I do for this city.
I need to get back to work. I'll check on you and Mr. Brock soon, okay?
Yeah. Thanks, Aunt May.
May heads down the hall. Peter walks into Eddie's room and has a seat. He stares at the unconscious Eddie for a moment. Eddie bolts upright in the bed, causing Peter to leap back and stick to the wall.
Dude, what the crap?
Eddie gasps for breath. He touches his stomach, pulling back his shirt to see the scar that's already formed from the bullet wound, the last of the symbiote's tendrils snaking back into his skin. Venom's head emerges from Eddie's shoulder.
Eddie, you are healed now.
Eddie flops back on the bed as Peter sets himself down.
Jeez. How long have I been in here?
Why didn't I sense you? That happened before, too. It's like you're invisible.
To your spider sense, yes, because I acquired all knowledge of your special tingle, and I adapted to combat it.
Great! Hey, is that why you two came looking for me to, I don't know, like absorb my powers?
Hey, ask him. He's the one obsessed with meeting you since we got zapped to that other world and saw you on TV.
Wait, what? You were pulled into the multiverse, too?
I guess so, yeah.
But that means you knew who I was before?
Man, I've never seen you before in my life.
But I know you.
How?
I have hive knowledge across universes that could fry Eddie's tiny human brain.
That's always his answer.
It means I'm connected to all other versions of me, their knowledge, their memories.
Peter takes a nervous step backward.
So you didn't know me. You knew.
Venom's head moves close to Peter's face and contorts into a menacing grin, showing off razor-sharp teeth. The face of the rainy Venom.
Hey, Parker.
Peter shifts, ready to strike. Our Venom returns.
Just not you.
Peter stares in wonder.
Buried in my brain is some knowledge of our connection, and I knew finding you, joining with you, would make us a better version of ourselves. I knew we could be the ultimate lethal protector.
Peter runs his hand through his hair.
Man, this is a lot.
Hey, if we're all souped up now, did we win that fight against Kravinoff?
No.
He has powers!
Not exactly. He said he just had decades of training.
That guy is seriously messed up. Thank God Jameson let me blow his cover.
Cover?
Yeah, I did my first expose for the Bugle about Sergei. Didn't take much to figure out he was a psycho wanted by the feds.
Eddie picks up the clicker for the TV. He flips through channels until he lands on CNN. Jameson is on the screen, his video replaying.
You can now report that Smythe's ex-head of security is none other than Interpol's 15th most wanted criminal and internationally wanted poacher, mercenary, and suspected assassin, Sergei Kravinoff.
Hey! Old Bristletop got him! Way to go, JJ!
And not only was Kravinoff present at the scene, but so was Spider-Man.
And there it is.
Could it be that Smythe and this international fugitive have been in league with the wall-crawling menace all this time?
Oh, come on!
Footage accompanies the Bugle report, images of the police in front of Smythe Tech. Reporters are also on the scene. Exterior Smythe Tech. Lamont and Gonzalez step out of their squad in front of the Smythe building. There is a podium and microphones for a press conference. Robbie is among the reporters, as well as Ben Urich and his frontline team. Smythe stands at the collection of microphones.
Ladies and gentlemen, first let me address the allegations that our organization has had any illegal operations involving a so-called torture room. That is absolutely false. We are currently allowing the NYPD to search every corner of our facility, including the state-approved detention center. We have no secrets here. There simply is no such torture room on this property, nor has there ever been.
And what of your employee of Sergei Kravinoff?
I was not aware of Mr. Kravinoff's international renown. He has been swiftly removed from our staff and from the property, and I am offering the NYPD and FBI all my resources to help capture this fugitive. And I'd like to thank the tireless efforts of the Daily Bugle for not only uncovering Kravinoff's hidden past, but their exposure that he has in fact been working with Spider-Man to harass and endanger this city.
Smash! Interior Queens Hospital Center. The TV shatters, Venom's black fist forced through it.
He's lying!
There are dozens of people in that place being tortured. We have to do something.
I know, and we're going to. You feeling up to a little fight?
How little?
Oh, just taking down a madman with a private prison who's been manipulating the public with a giant attack robot. No biggie.
Eddie rises and extends his hand to Peter.
Put her there, partner.
They shake.
We just gotta make a quick stop first.
Interior, abandoned Oscorp building, sunset. The last shreds of daylight poke through the boarded-up windows of the old Oscorp building, sending dusty shafts around the room. There are boxes, crates, and computer stations, all with the Oscorp logo emblazoned upon them. A shadow slinks through the diminishing light and stops at a console. With a flick of the wrist, lights snap on, revealing Black Cat in a full glimpse of her hideout. She stretches her back with a groan and sets down her newest acquisitions, 2 loot bags of smaller techie items. Casually, she moves to a grouping of shelves and walks her fingers over several items, landing on a large rifle. She picks it up, flicks on the power, and swings around to shoom! Fire a laser blast into the corner. Spider-Man and Venom leap out of the way of the blast.
Cat!
Shoom! She keeps the beam firing, chasing Spidey and leaving a smoking trail in her hideout's walls. Venom whips an arm at her and snatches the rifle out of her hand. The Black Cat pulls out a dagger and stabs the alien.
Ow!
Spider-Man lands in front of her with his hands up.
Cat, stop! It's me!
I know. I smelled your cheap cologne the second I walked in.
I don't wear cologne. What am I, 15?
Cat points the rifle at Venom as the ominous figure looms behind Spidey.
What's your ugly friend?
I am the lethal...
That's Venom. He's alright.
I see you're back to the red and blue pajamas. This guy take your hand-me-down and bad attitude?
We're working together. We want to take down Smythe.
Cat's brow raises just enough to show she's curious. She lowers the rifle and steps back from the webhead. She begins circling the pair.
Finally had enough of his sentries, huh?
He's got a room in his complex where he's keeping superpowered individuals captive.
A torture chamber.
He's been using these people to enhance the Sentries, to make them unstoppable, even for me. Probably because of me.
Cat circles around Venom, eyeing him up and down.
Maybe it benefits me to have you finally taken out.
This woman is very rude. I don't care for her.
Cat holds up an ID.
Edward Brick from San Fran. You're a long way from home, big guy.
Hey,
Venom realizes his wallet is gone.
How did you do that?
She flips Eddie's ID back at Venom. He fumbles to catch it.
You've never lifted my wallet, have you?
Cat grins and winks.
A lady never picks a pocket and tells. So, why do you need my help? 2 big, strong men like yourselves. What can I offer to this little gang?
Smythe Tech is in an old Oscorp facility. No one knows those places better than you. We need to get in undetected.
Cat stops and leans on one of her tables of gear and shrugs.
Okay.
Wait, really? Why?
That place will be loaded with tech. Past prototype phase tech. I'll take whatever I want once we're in.
That's no, I can't agree to that.
Take it or leave it.
Cat.
Why not? Do you actually care about this torturer's secret tech?
That's not the point.
Do you think I'd actually agree to breaking in there and not steal at least something? You're so cute sometimes.
Yes, he's very naive.
The big guy gets it.
All right. Eddie, can you please, slurp out and chime in here?
Venom pulls back to reveal Eddie.
You a super evil cat lady?
Of course. I'm not just an opportunist.
She gets us in there. I say she can have the run of the place.
Thank you, Eddie Brick.
Oy vey. Okay, fine, you're in. But not only do we need you to get us in, we need some tech.
Some of the tech I steal? You're really playing into the gray, hero boy.
Greater good.
Cat strides over to her shelves and spreads her arms wide.
What are you looking for?
The Sentries have a sonic device that can incapacitate me. We need something to defend against that.
Cat holds up the onyx black device and tosses it to the large hero.
Try that on for size.
Venom turns the thing over in his hand. He presses the center button. The thing wraps around his chest, creating a vest unit that connects in the back. A ripple of energy flows over his entire body with a hum.
Sonic dampener. Thanks to one Dr. Clayton Cole, it should function like sound armor.
She casually picks up another device and blasts a sound wave at Venom. Spider-Man covers his ears from the noise. Venom flinches, expecting pain, but instead a ripple of energy flows over him. He looks up in surprise. Venom stands there, checking his body. He is unscathed.
This'll do.
Interior Smythe Tech lobby, night. As the SWAT team is in the midst of exiting the building, Alistair is walking with Lamont.
Detective, I assure you, if I get any information at all concerning the whereabouts of Sergei, I will contact you immediately.
See that you do, but just for my own sense of security, I'm gonna leave a squad here. You know, in case Kraven decides to come clean out his desk.
Of course.
Smythe stops at the door to watch Lamont join the others filtering out of the building. Outside, the number of reporters has dwindled. Ben Urich leans against his van with his arms crossed. Smythe offers him a smile and a wave.
Let me know if you need anything. Any more quotes, Mr. Urich? Asshole.
The entrance doors slide shut, and Smythe stands alone in his lobby. He turns on his heels and marches to the elevator. Interior, Smythe Tech, office level, moments later. He exits to his office where several employees are hurrying about. Smythe stops before a wall of security monitors.
I want to know what those bastards photographed and filmed. The moment a single proprietary item from this facility hits the internet, I want every lawyer we got putting the hammer down on the NYPD.
Static pops onto one of the feeds, then another, and another. The entire wall of images goes black for a moment.
What's happening?
And then a blurry image appears over the entire wall, a masked face bobbing back and forth.
Is it on? Yeah, you sure? Hello, Alistair Smythe?
Spider-Man's face is awkwardly close to a security camera. He taps the lens.
Excuse me, hello?
Smythe glares at the monitor and snaps his fingers. The emergency lights activate throughout the whole building.
Oh, there we go. Hey, Al, just thought we'd pop in to go ahead and free all these prisoners you managed to hide from the cops. Hope that's cool. We'll just be down here doing that if you want to send some security or, angry Russians. Okay, bye.
The feed goes out. The room around Smythe stares at the tech mogul, waiting for his order.
Send everyone.
He lifts his wrist and taps his smartwatch. Behind him, the wall opens to reveal a dozen sentries. Center to them all, Alpha Crown on its head, is the Spider Slayer. Open every... Oh, that's not my line.
Open every cell and get the feeds back up. I want to watch this.
Interior, Smythe Tech, detention level. Spider-Man jumps down from the wall and lands beside Eddie and Black Cat. They are on the level above the detention cells. There are dozens of detainees still locked away. Eddie is using a tablet to tap into the video feeds. He hits record and begins to capture the entire building.
Was that necessary? He's gonna send everything he's got.
Hey, good. The bigger the mess this is, the less chance he has of covering it up.
Let's get these people out of here.
Spider-Man hops up on the rail over the cells. All of the doors suddenly open.
Huh.
That you, Brock?
No.
Bold move, Smythe.
Get these people to the elevators.
Spider-Man and Black Cat leap down to the cells as the detainees begin to panic and run out. Nearby, an elevator dings and several guards in helmets and armor appear with guns in their hands, led by Flint. Eddie presses the device Cat gave him against his chest, and as Venom forms over his body, so does the protective vest.
All right, pal. Let's keep it PG.
No promises.
Venom catapults himself at the guards and smashes into the first few. Below, Spider-Man corrals the prisoners. Another door opens and several more guards race in.
That way, towards the exits!
Black Cat flips over the approaching men and plants her boot into the nearest. She lands, turns, and backhands the next. His rifle goes off and hits one of his fellows. Cat grabs the strap and yanks the shooter over her shoulder into two more guards. As Spidey gets most of the prisoners into the elevator, the ceiling opens and a sentry lands, arms raised and firing. Spidey shoves prisoners into the lift, webbing several more away from the line of fire. He ducks around the sentry's bullets. He webs the thing's feet and yanks himself at it, under it, behind it. He pushes off the ground and kicks the thing's mechanical butt. It stumbles forward and headfirst into the wall. A guard's body slams into the wall behind him. Above, Venom is tearing through the guards one by one. Cat pushes a group of prisoners away from the guards and into a stairwell. She looks around at the chaos. The last of the prisoners running into the halls and the other elevators, the webhead turning on the sentry as it recovers, and Venom up on a level fighting guards. With a wry grin, she steps into the shadows. Another two sentries crash through the ceiling.
You guys are making a real mess!
Spidey webs them both and pulls them into one another. Boom! Two more sentries plow through the wall. As they rocket towards Spider-Man, Venom crashes on top of one and smashes it into the floor. Venom lands beside Spider-Man and the pair fight back to back. The sentries and guards throw themselves at the duo. Guards fire their guns, missing them both. The sentries fire sonic blasts, but they have no effect on Venom. The heroes fight off everything their attackers got until they are standing in the wreckage of the detention level, surrounded by dismantled robots and unconscious guards.
That wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
The pair turn to the sound. Kraven is standing facing them. He's in his Dora Milaje armor, holding a spear, blades strapped all over his body. He has a lion skin vest, completing the classic look.
Spider-Man.
Oh, great. The brain-damaged gorilla.
I'll have time for you soon, alien.
You'll have time for us now!
Venom charges. The hunter sidesteps the attack and slices a dagger directly across Venom's back, destroying the vest.
One fight at a time.
Venom skids to a stop and whips around. Boom! A sonic blast hits Venom, and the hulking hero slams through the glass of 3 cells. The Spider Slayer charges out of the tunnel, tackling Venom like a linebacker. They plow through a wall and disappear. Kraven turns on Spider-Man.
And now, my friend, we fight.
Spider-Man attacks. Kraven jumps to meet him. Interior, hallway. Venom rolls and crashes against the wall as the Slayer rockets forward. Several guards, including Flint, run just behind the bot. A blast of Sonic hits Venom. Venom peels off Eddie, whipping all around and tearing open the ceiling, causing the water pipes to burst.
Come on, pal, keep it together.
Venom forms around Eddie and they yank a pipe off the wall, chucking it like a javelin toward the Slayer. It slams into the thing and causes it to take a single step backward. The water is pouring now. Flint and the guards race forward, gunfire. The hallway is suddenly lit up like a Wild West show. Venom lurches forward, swiping his claws at the men. Schlunk! Venom recoils from a slash from the Slayer, the front of his chest cut open, a gash down the center of the spider symbol. His chest healing in front of Flint's stunned eyes. Venom pushes back as a gleaming blade arm swings for the hero. He ducks and rolls as the Slayer smashes concrete like sand. The Slayer's arm hits the wall and jams between metal, allowing Venom a moment to dive away and land on Flint, water pouring down the glistening dark alien form. Venom throws the man like a ragdoll at the other guards, taking them down like bowling pins. The lethal protector is hit from behind by a sonic blast of the Slayer. Interior Smythe Tech office level. Smythe stands alone, watching the fights on his monitor wall. Venom fighting the Slayer, Spider-Man and Kraven battling. His eyes catch a reflection in the monitor. Black Cat. He whips around, but Cat grabs him, throws him across the room. His back slams against a wall. He pulls a pistol from his coat, but whack! She knocks it out of his fist and wraps her clawed hand around his throat. He whimpers as she leans in.
Tisk, 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 Alistair. Oh, and you were doing so well.
Felicia Hardy?
You remember me. How sweet.
What do you want?
She takes him and throws him face down on his desk. Pressing his face hard into it, she sets a small device beside his trembling face, and in an instant, a stream of data begins whipping across surface displays like it's being sucked into the small device.
Just taking back what you stole.
Smythe's eyes widen in horror as he watches every byte of info stream out of his system and into her tech. Blueprints, schematics, offshore accounts, everything. He struggles.
You can't.
Wham! She slams him back down, smashing his face, then grabs the back of his shirt and throws him to the door. Interior detention level. Kraven tears forward with his spear in one hand and a dagger in the other. Expert knife work against Spider-Man's uncanny agility. The wall crawler flips past several strikes, countering with a leg takedown, but hesitates with his punch. Kraven rolls back to his feet. Spider-Man does too. They circle, and Kraven lunges at the hero, who dodges. Spider-Man manages to knock Kraven back, gaining the advantage.
All right, handlebars, what's your deal?
Kraven ferociously bobs inside, but Spidey lunges at him, giving him a punch across his jaw.
You're from good old Mother Russia, right?
Fueled by rage, Kraven swings his fist at the webhead.
By way of Mother Africa!
Two moms and still this misbehaved?
Kraven chucks his spear, grazing Spidey's thigh. Wielding two blades, Kraven slashes deep across the webhead's stomach, then spins, cutting deep into his bicep.
Freddie Mercury called. He wants his vest back.
Stop talking! Fight me!
Stop cocking. You don't know me at all, do you?
Kraven throws his daggers as he races forward. Spider-Man spins them around them. Kraven scoops up his spear, and as Spidey lands, the hunter jams the spear into the hero's stomach. Spidey stumbles, blood leaks from his side. He swings and kicks, but Kraven dodges the spider's attack. The hunter twirls another blade and shlunk. Stumbling, Spider-Man is unable to avoid Kraven's blade being thrust into his ribs. Kraven snatches the knife out. Spider-Man reels backwards. The hunter lands a punch-punch kick into Spider-Man. Spidey stumbles backward from the blows until he topples to the floor, blood coming from his wounds.
Your powers mean nothing to true skill!
Kraven walks towards Spider-Man to deliver his death blow. He lifts his spear. Spidey labors to rise. Fueled by adrenaline, Spider-Man gets his footing. He charges Kraven, who dodges his attack.
This is the prey I've been hunting all this time?
Spider-Man takes a swing, but Kraven deflects it, causing the webhead to fall again.
The hero of New York?
He puts a boot on Spider-Man's chest and places the spear under his throat. Spidey coughs in pain, fading.
I expected more. How?
He slams the spear into the floor beside Peter's head.
Disappointing.
Boom! Distant explosions. Kraven's eyes shift to the hallway where Venom is still fighting the Slayer.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Kraven runs toward the battle, leaving Spider-Man slipping into unconsciousness. Interior Smythe Tech office level. Smythe groans on the floor. Black Cat plucks up the device from the desk and the contents she came for, now hers, and strides to Smythe as he regains his bearings.
None of this belongs to you. It belongs to Harry Osborn.
He reaches for the pistol on the floor, but as he spins around to shoot her, she's gone.
God damn it!
His eyes catch the video feed of the detention level. Spider-Man is slowly rising. Kraven is nowhere to be seen.
No, where's Kraven? Why isn't Spider-Man dead? God!
Smythe stomps to his desk and slams his fist down on it. Interior hallway. Sonic waves hammer Venom. Flint and the guards hang back, watching the robot assault the alien. Venom runs away, slipping through a metal door into another chamber. In one fluid motion, the Slayer rockets forward, slicing the steel door and firing a half-dozen projectiles at the alien. Venom catches the mini-missiles and whips them back at the mech, but one gets past his reach and catches him in the chest. The Dark Avenger slams into the wall. Thoom, thoom, thoom! The Slayer stomps toward Venom, raising its sonic cannon. Venom lifts his eyes at the metal monster. This is going to hurt.
Hold!
The Slayer freezes. Kraven steps out from behind it.
I've defeated the spider. I have hunted and slain the greatest beasts and monsters on the planet, and now I want to see what challenge the depths of space have to offer me. On your feet, creature!
You want us? Come and get us!
Venom vaults at Kraven, but the hunter lifts and fires a sonic cannon that hits Venom so hard he is torn off of Eddie. Eddie rolls to the floor in a heap as Venom slams into the far wall.
I only want you, alien.
Venom recovers, slithering perpendicular to the hunter and escaping down a corridor. Kraven grins. The hunt is on. Interior detention level. Spider-Man grunts to his feet, checking his wounds. He's pretty banged up.
This isn't so bad.
Spider sense! The wall crawler whips about as the elevator opens to reveal 10 Spider Slayers.
Oh, come on. How many of these things do they have in here?
And standing center to them all is the final Smythe weapon, a Slayer the size of a large man in armor, the Alpha Crown on its head, moving more humanoid than any Sentry before it, the ultimate Spider Slayer. It flexes and cricks its head back and forth as though stretching before its attack. The helmet slips open to reveal Smythe's face.
Smythe?
Activate Sentry support mode.
All the Sentries snap into military attention posture.
I have to thank you, Spider-Man. You've given me all I need for my greatest weapon.
Peter sighs. He's not ready for another round.
You know, I've had just about enough of you and your robot friends, but hey, I'll just dismantle all of these in your new fancy suit, and the Bugle can do a nice fluff piece on what your jail cell looks like.
Smythe snaps his helmet shut. Enraged, he rushes at Spider-Man. They clash. Smythe pummels the hero. The other Slayers remain stationary, awaiting orders. Spidey webs Smythe's face and jumps around him.
So, you really did capture all those powered crooks and experiment on them just to try to kill me?
Yes!
He dodges Smythe's attack.
And you think that will make you some sort of hero?
I know it will!
Spider-Man lands on the wall and adjusts one of the security cameras, pointing it at the madman.
You're making this too easy for me, Al. Smile for the live feed.
Smythe realizes what the hero is implying.
You've run me time and time again. I've wasted millions trying to capture and kill you.
Really? Millions? That's a really expensive hobby you wasted your time on.
Bam, bam, bam! Smythe unloads his cannons, destroying the camera. Spider-Man jumps over and around the fire, getting close to Smythe and punching and kicking the man. Smythe catches Spider-Man by the leg and slams him into the floor. He places a blaster against Spidey's head. Spidey goes to the web Smythe. Smythe fires his blaster. No webbing. Click, no blast.
Lethal fire not authorized for Alpha Unit.
Override!
Spider-Man breaks free just as the blast goes off. He gets behind Smythe and rabbit punches the suit, barely denting it. Smythe spins and slaps the hero across the face with one hand, while the other clasps her on Spidey's neck, squeezing.
Target at risk. Restraint mode on Alpha Unit activated.
Restraints!
Spider-Man kicks Smythe in the helmeted head, sending him stumbling.
You made your Slayers too good, Al.
Smythe kicks off the floor with flames burping from his boots. Burping? Oh. He catapults himself directly into Spider-Man, tackling him through the walls at the speed of the power of a freight train. In a flash, they are rocketing over the city. Every Sentry activates similar propulsions and zooms after their leader. Exterior Smythe Tech. In the turnabout in front of the facility, Urich is watching the footage from the live feed beside Gonzalez. They look up to see the Slayers soaring toward the city. Interior Smythe Tech hallway. Eddie awakens in a puddle. He looks around, hearing gunfire. He gets to his feet and runs toward it. Interior Smythe Tech launch bay. Blam! Blam! Kraven lowers his sonic rifle and faces a dark room lit by the flashing red emergency lights. Kraven stalks. His footfalls echo with each step.
Come, alien. Face me.
Kraven stands center in the large room, slowly turning. Venom could be anywhere in the dark corners of the room. Above, the symbiote slowly descends on the hunter from the dark ceiling. Its tendrils silently reach out and grab the Russian, slithering all over him until he is wrapped in the dark, otherworldly goo. For a moment, Kraven is being crushed. He collapses to his knees, squeezing his own head. He pitches forward and writhes. His back arches, and then he falls silent in a ball on the floor. Flint and a handful of guards rush in to find the hunter's form prone on the floor. Flint stops them with a gesture.
Mr. Kraven?
A beat, and then Kraven rises slowly, his body slick and black. He turns to face the men, but he is no longer Kraven. No, he is bonded with the symbiote. He is Venom Kraven now.
God.
Venom Kraven's mouth opens to reveal rows of razor-sharp teeth. In an instant, he attacks the guards, tearing them to pieces like some animal. Exterior Times Square, night. For a moment, the city that never sleeps glows in the night. Cars and people move about. Until... boom! Smythe and Spider-Man impact in the center of the historic street, creating a crater. Enraged, Spider-Man rushes at Smythe. They clash. Peter pummels him with all his might. Smythe breaks free and forms a blade with his arm, swinging at the hero. The wall crawler dodges the blow and punches the madman. They exchange punches and kicks, battling it out as pedestrians watch in horror. The other sentries land as the police race onto the scene. Lamont and police force surround the battle. Robbie and Jonah appear as well, cameras rolling on the scene. Smythe is beating Spider-Man bloody with an endless barrage of punches. Spider falls to the pavement. Smythe opens his helmet, furious. He looks around at the crowd. He grabs Spidey and lifts him to yell in his face.
You made me look like a fool!
Your Mala kinda took care of that.
A quick look between the cops and Lamont. Lamont clenches his jaw. He'll be damned if he sees Spider-Man slain like this.
Smythe, that's enough. Stand down.
I've captured him! I've defeated Spider-Man!
Stand down, now.
Smythe grunts in annoyance. He flicks his hand to the sentries. They all turn their cannons at the cops. Interior Smythe Tech launch bay. Venom Kraven tears through the guards like paper. They fire their guns, but they have no effect. The alien monster eats the men in his path. One by one, they fall until only Flint remains. He points his rifle at the monster as its mouth snaps down on him, biting him in half.
The power! They're all my prey now! All of them!
They are not your prey. They are mine, as are you.
I control you! I am in control!
No, you are not.
Venom partially peels away from Kraven, turning on the Russian, and then hammers down on him in a flash. Kraven the Hunter doesn't even have time to scream as he is eaten alive. Eddie runs into the room just as the symbiote finishes dispatching the man.
Venom! Eddie!
Venom moves to his friend but stops short. He shakes his head, frowning.
What? What's wrong?
I feel funny.
Well, funny how?
I feel a strangeness in me. I feel shame for what I've just done. I feel like Peter. I do not like it.
Eddie smirks, understanding.
It's called guilt, buddy.
Venom frowns, shaking his head, trying to rid himself of the strange feelings.
No, I don't think that's it. I think it's... much better.
Exterior Times Square, night. The cops are in a standoff against the sentries as Smythe holds Spider-Man for all the city to see.
I told you I would capture him! I promised it! And now he will pay for terrorizing us all!
Smythe, I said stand down.
Smythe flexes his hand around the hero's throat. Chunk! His armor shudders. He snorts, his grip tight on Spider-Man, but unable to break him.
Still can't do it. With all your lobbying and your contracts, you were never given lethal force.
Spider Slayer has reached maximum force against current target.
Smythe tries again to break Spider-Man's neck.
Alpha unit not authorized to use deadly force.
Smythe snatches the Alpha crown off his head and smashes it on the ground.
There!
Every sentry in the square jerks to attention. A voice emanates from every unit at the same time. In an instant, all hell breaks loose. The sentries turn on every threat. Cops, civilians, including each other, missiles and cannon fire from every robot.
Take them down!
Lamont and the cops return fire on the bots. Robbie tackles Jonah to the ground to save him from a blast. Smythe spins a circle. Spider-Man kicks himself free. He tackles two nearby civilians and yanks them out of the way of a rocket. The webhead jumps into action, punching sentries and pulling people to safety. He begins systematically flipping cars onto their sides, creating a barrier while protecting the innocents from the robots. Smythe knocks over a sentry in pursuit of Spider-Man. That sentry opens fire on Smythe, hammering him in the back.
Oh, God, not me, you idiot! Spider-Man!
But it's no use. The thing is out of control. They all are. Smythe fires back. That draws the attention of another sentry, and another. Smythe is suddenly the only target of his entire robot force. They stop shooting at the cops and all move on Smythe.
Oh, no!
Come on, get everyone back!
The sentries blast toward Smythe, rockets, cannons, guns firing as they all charge directly at him, and the world slows to a crawl. Spider-Man drives over the mayhem, spiraling toward Smythe, who is about to be this epicenter of the full power of every single sentry. Everything he's built is coming down at once on the tech mogul, the wall crawler only inches ahead of the Hellfire. Spider-Man reaches out and wraps his arms around Smythe, colliding with him, taking him away from the arriving blast. The shockwave of heat and energy erupts on the spot where every sentry lands at once, enveloping them all in a mighty explosion. Time snaps back to speed. Spider-Man rolls across the shattered pavement, cradling Smythe in his arms. Every window and sign in Times Square shatters in the explosion. Silence. The smoke clears. Lamont, JJ, Robbie, the cops, and the people all peek out from where they had found shelter. There's a crater in the center of the street. All the sentries lay as smoldering wreckage. And Spider-Man lays over Smythe, both of them unmoving.
Ow.
Spidey sits up, holding his arm. Smythe groans, eyes closed.
You're welcome.
The webhead wobbles to his feet. He's beaten and bloody, but he's alive.
Everyone okay?
A beat, and then... An eruption of cheers! The cops, Robbie, and every citizen roars in celebration of the hero. Even Jonah can't hide his relief.
Front page story, Jonah.
We'll see.
The crowd continues to cheer and celebrate Spider-Man as Lamont and the cops rush over to apprehend Smythe. Spidey waves to the crowd. Dissolve 2, Exterior Streets Day. A picture of Spider-Man waving in Times Square graces the cover of the Daily Bugle. Peter adjusts the paper to read it.
And while Smythe is in police custody, Sergei Kravinoff remains at large, leading many to question whether or not he and the notorious Spider-Man are still working together in some nefarious capacity. JJ just can't help himself, can he?
Apparently not.
Eddie and Peter are walking together down the busy street of New York City. They both look well, if not still a bit bruised.
Any idea where Kraven might have gotten off to?
Eddie doesn't look at Peter.
No clue. But my piece has been picked up nationally. It's been published and ran on every news site you can think of.
Hey, congrats.
Yeah, thanks.
So you sticking around for a while?
For now. Jonah's already got me on assignment. He's going to get his money worth out of me.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. Hey, I hear you're pretty good with a camera. Maybe we can tackle a few more stories together?
Maybe. Robbie got me an interview for a new gig. Things work out, I might be a little busy with that.
They stop and face one another.
Hey, well, you call me anytime.
Same.
And if you ever need to borrow my suits...
Nah, I'm good.
They shake hands, mutual respect between them. Eddie's phone goes off. He answers as he walks off.
Hey, Mr. Jameson, what's up?
What's up? Don't talk to me like we're drinking buddies, Brock. I need you down at the Bugle. I gotta leave and I need you to follow.
Peter grins, watching Eddie disappear into the crowd. He checks the time and realizes he's running late. He hurries off the opposite direction. Interior, Peter's apartment number 3. The sun fills the empty space in a new, clean apartment overlooking Ingram Street in Queens. Aunt May strolls from the hallway with a pleased expression. Behind her, Peter is finishing a phone call.
Yes, thank you. I will. Yeah. I'm excited too. Of course. See you Monday, bright and early.
He ends the call and spreads his arms to Aunt May.
You're looking at the new science teacher at Midtown High.
Oh, Peter, that's amazing.
4 classes a day. It's perfect.
I told you you'd be a great teacher.
I haven't proven that quite yet, but I got a good feeling about it.
And I have a great feeling about this place.
May, it's better than I could have hoped. It's like one of those TV apartments that looks impossible. The location is perfect. There aren't any weird smells. It's incredible.
Face it, Tiger, you just hit the jackpot.
Peter and May turn to find a beautiful young woman standing in the doorway. She has a charming smile and twirls a set of keys in her hand.
You're almost making me wish I hadn't moved out.
Peter is stunned by the girl.
It's a great place.
Just dropping off the keys. Landlord says you already paid up and you're moving in tomorrow?
Yes, thank you.
Aunt May collects the keys from the woman.
Well, enjoy.
May looks back at Peter. He's still staring.
He will. Thank you, dear.
The girl smiles and disappears into the hall. May watches her go with interest.
She was very pretty, wasn't she?
No answer. She turns around to discover Peter has vanished. Exterior, the street, day. The girl from the apartment is strolling away. Behind her, Peter lands and hurries after her.
Hey, excuse me.
She turns to find him running up and waving his phone at her.
Yeah?
Hi, I'm the guy from your old place.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
An awkward beat.
Did you need something?
Oh, right. I figured I should probably get your number, your phone number for apartment stuff, in case you left something behind in your old apartment, which I live in now.
She smirks at him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just to be safe. I mean, if you want. I'm Peter Parker.
Nice to meet you, Peter Parker.
She lets him stand there in his awkwardness for a moment.
You don't do this very often, do you?
This is actually my third apartment this year.
Not what I meant. Here.
She takes his phone out of his hands and punches in her info. He watches her, enamored by her kindness and energy. She hands back his phone.
I'm Mary Jane.
Peter blinks in surprise by the name.
I'm Peter.
Yeah, I know.
She begins to walk away.
I look forward to hearing from you for apartment stuff.
Of course.
She gives him one final smile and turns, vanishing into the crowd crossing the street. Peter stands there, face warm. His heart feels full. For a moment, all is right in the world. Police cars race by. He turns his attention toward them, expression changing to one of determination. Exterior, New York City, moments later. Spider-Man sprints full tilt off of a building, firing his webs, and soars over the city. Peter swings, flips, and careens onward, ready for anything and everything the world has for him. Fade out. Exterior, the First National Bank of Long Island, day. Boom! Good boom. A giant hole has been smashed through the front of the bank. Smoke obstructs the view inside. There's a perimeter of police around the building. A computer comes flying out of the dark, smoky maw. Spider-Man lands in front of the cops on the scene.
What's happening here?
A guy in a big friggin' metal suit's robbing the place.
Is it a rhino-shaped metal suit?
Spider-Man, is that you?
Alexi! Yeah! Come out of there and say hi! I heard you got a new suit!
And I heard you're pulling your punches again!
You and your bad guy friends talking about me at your book club? What was on the reading list this week? Green eggs and ham?
Another computer flies out. Spidey catches it.
Come to think of it, for an old friend like you, Alexi, I'll give you a full punch or two.
I won't be pulling my punches with ya!
Thunder! The cops back off. Spider-Man squares off to the hole. We hear the pounding footsteps, louder, faster, approaching. The hero readies himself for the coming attack. Boom! Rhino plows through the side of the building to the left of the hero and cops. He's in a huge, almost a bulldozer-like suit, 15 feet tall. The giant metal monster slams directly into an armored bank truck, picking it up and keeps charging down the street like a freight train.
I'm on it, officers.
Spider-Man swings after him, racing down the street. The hero lands on the bank truck and pulls it off the Rhino's arms, tossing it to the road behind. It bounces away and into the side of a building.
Sorry about that!
Spidey webs the helmet to yank it off, but this time it doesn't budge.
No helmet off this time. I'd had it grafted to my head. I am truly the Rhino now.
That's insane. How do you even shower? Oh, God, do you not shower? You're gonna attract oxpeckers.
Rhino swings his fist backwards. Spider-Man dodges by jumping off. He quickly swings ahead of the runaway villain. He tries to web a trip rope between two buildings, but the Rhino easily plows on, taking the webbing and pieces of the building with him. The menace too strong. He plows into a bus, knocking it sideways, but Spider-Man sets it right. He rapidly fires off webs to grab Rhino from the back, slowing it. Spidey braces himself on a cement guardrail. It begins to crack from the force of his foot and Rhino's pull. Passengers flee from the rescued bus.
I hope this experience hasn't put any of you off public transit. Statistically speaking, it's still the safest way to travel.
The concrete barrier shatters and he's yanked away. Spider-Man is dragged by the Rhino. He pulls himself forward and attaches himself to the back of the mech. He finds the exhaust port and sticks his arms in.
I got some new tricks too.
He unloads all of his webbing into the suit, flooding the innards of the Rhino until it's overflowing with web.
What have you done to me?
Rhino falls face first into the pavement and slides to a halt. Alexi, struggling in his suit, but unable to move. Spider-Man stands over him, victorious. Spider-Man sits on the immobile mech, pulls out a notepad from his suit, and flips it open.
Now, I have been waiting to run into you again. I've been workshopping some ideas, and I think you'll love them. Committing a crime? Rhino, you didn't.
Let me go.
No? I like that one. Okay. Do you keep robbing banks because your credit is bad from all your charging?
Oh, I'll kill you.
Down the street, the cops are racing to the scene.
All right. Prepare yourself. This is my winner. Ready?
No.
You're under Rhinos arrest. I worked really hard on these, and I just don't think you're appreciating them enough.
As we pull back, squad cars skid to a stop surrounding the captured foe. Spidey continues to read from his notepad as Rhino struggles and screams.
Maybe next time you're charging, I'll just unplug you.
Stop!
Ask me what you and an elephant have in common.
No!
Hell if I know.
No!
Knock, knock.
Shut up!
You say who's there.
No, I don't.
And I say a rhino. Rhino who? Rhino every knock, knock joke there is.
No!
Fade to black. Interior, unknown. A dark room, only a single light flickers, small in a corner. A figure sits in a tall chair holding a laptop, the small screen lighting and giving the figure shape. A man, small in stature, his moves slight. On a laptop, images of Spider-Man. A finger flicks through footage. Footsteps. The man turns his ears to them. Another figure enters the space. The computer lights the beetle as they stop before the figure in the chair. They set a case at the unseen man's feet. Fingers touch the case and opens it. Pumpkin bombs glisten. A hand with scaly scars picks one up and turns it over, raising it to narrow green eyes. A crooked smile. Harry Osborn sneers with wicked delight. Cut to black. Media presents a Studio Demands It script reading of The Amazing Spider-Man 3, written by T.C. DeWitt and James Burzelic, starring Craig Lee Thomas as Peter Parker and Spider-Man, T.C. DeWitt as Eddie Brock and Venom, Travis Dixon as Alistair Smythe, Andy Loud as Sergei Kravinoff, Hope Rubenkowski as Black Cat, with Dwight Taylor as Max Dillon, and Melody Peng as Aunt May, and with narration by Jim Burzelic.
Yeah, boy.
Additional performances by Courtney Locke, Gabriel Sedgemore, and Dani Scott. This has been a presentation. Oh, I'm just reading it again.
One more time.
Thank you, everyone.
That was awesome.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you all for reading that.